Extreme! This is the Imperial Schools of Honor podcast. I am Josh Folan.
And I am Jay Baxtron.
And we are going to be bullshit about the formative years of console gaming as we revisit the periodicals that covered it again. Today, we are turning back the clock and finally dabbling in some form of Technos' arcade roundhouse kick Double Dragon in the form of the 1988 Sega-published port for the SEGA Master System. Emulation disclosure, I played on RetroArch with the Genesis Plus GX core with an NES standard controller that made me very, very ashamed to be slandering an SMS game with such an input device. And said shame sent me to eBay poking around, and SMS controllers run about $35-$40. So I considered it, but then I smacked myself on the nose and said, no, very loud, and did not buy one and got back to playing like a civilized human being with a controller that worked just fine. Jay, how did you play?
I played with through Kega Fusion with the standard NES controller and had similar thoughts, but I'm the exact same setup. Map the buttons. We're moving on.
Please rate and review the podcast if you like what we're doing. It really helps us, makes us feel good about ourselves, and if you post it, we will read it here on the pod as long as it's either funny or makes us feel good. Either one of those things is fine. What are we jamming on now? Jay, what are you jamming on? Final Fantasy, huh?
Yes, sir. Final Fantasy. Not just any Final Fantasy. I feel like every time I look on Reddit or something, people are just freaking out and are cosplaying about Final Fantasy VII. Like, it's all about the rebirth. But
It's all about
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth specifically. But yeah, people just go nuts over that. But for those of us on Xbox who had previously not had access to MMO RPG Final Fantasy XIV online, that is what I have been playing.
It was a PlayStation deal only?
It was locked in. I think NPC perhaps, but definitely not available on Xbox until now. So it's been open beta for the last,
This must be the catalyst for all the chatter I hear about Sony giving up some there's exclusive stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, that and several other games now are coming to Xbox, and people are just freaking out about that. But it's like, hey, I work in the industry. Money has to be made. There's only so many people. But yeah, this game. I mean, you know me and my love for ESO, Guild Wars, WoW of yesteryear. I love those kind of games. Being able to play with Courtney's is a fun thing, and so. Once we found out, since we're clearly done with those games, that this was coming.
Say clearly like you weren't on ESO for 15 years.
I mean, that's what I mean. We were so into it that we've done all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm completely done. I've had thoughts just for like friends who've are still dabbling in the game to going back there, but this is a fun new adventure. Clearly, Final Fantasy, that world, that series is so popular and huge, and just being able to experience that together. The downside about this beta, because it is open beta until later this month, is that you can't play with anybody. I can't actually party up and play with Courtney yet. So we're just basically going through the tutorials, doing all the quests, getting used to the game. I think I'm level 20 or something now, and so is she. But now
seems like Final Fantasy Online without the online component is
I mean, Final Fantasy. Yeah, but so actually. The thought of that really bummed me out at first, and I was like, why are we even doing this then? But then, because it said at first that it was going to take until May before the full release came out, so I was like, well, I've gotten used to it. I think I'm done until, that happens. But then we found out, I don't know, last week or something, that it's coming later this month, that full cross-play, open line play, or online play is coming. Diving in, man. Diving in. And so I'm super excited to be able to do that,
Word. Okay.
And I blame this podcast for even sucking me in more to that Final Fantasy world. After playing the first one, because I never played any of these games before. I've had friends who play Final Fantasy, even Courtney has played that, but that's just never really been my series until dive
I feel
in
like,
here.
I mean, clearly we spent a good part of a year playing the first one together, so you know how I feel about it. I can't believe how different. Like, the first one feels like, I don't know. I look at all the stuff for newer ones, and I'm just like, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all to me. That doesn't. Even just look at that image behind you, I'm just like, anime as fuck. I don't know what my thing is with anime. It's just I look at it, I'm just
you just hate it immediately.
I'm just like fuck off, man. Like it's so so visually unappealing to me. I just can't explain it. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for it. Anyhow, maybe if I slowly inch myself into it via each one, when I'm 80 and I get to like, I don't know, 7.
That's
incrementally getting through them for side quests, I will have the built-up affinity that allows me to get past that and enjoy them. I don't know.
Yeah,
more modern.
I think it's missing, some of the latter ones that have some of those characters that people really, latch on to. 'Cause like if you haven't played 7, or if I don't know whichever one the Chocobos first start in, like you know what I mean. If you haven't played some of these ones where these timeless characters first kicked off in.
The Chocobos are in Final Fantasy Adventure, that game that Jab wants to play from Game Boy so badly. They had and they were cute, and they were fun. They're fun to fuck with for sure. So I'm familiar with the Chocobo, and I still don't want to put new ones. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Oh, Josh.
Also a thing too. I really don't. When I have to be a character instead of being a slate that I build my own character in the world, that is also a huge problem for me. It's like I want to be a clean slate that I bake my own character, and he's Todd. But I don't want to.
That's what this is. Clearly, this is an MMORPG. So I am Anakin.
Okay. Well, the MMO,
whatever
maybe,
my last name.
But the traditional Final Fantasies, I think, have become where you're like these characters, right? Like you gotta know the lore, and that's what the detractor is for me. Like I don't want to know the lore. I want to build the lore from scratch, and I think that's part of the problem with Final Fantasies is that it is more reliant on like your certain people and
your
like
Cloud or
exactly. I don't even know who that is, but I've heard that word before. I don't want to know who Cloud is. I want to go in and be Todd. And have Todd have it all happen to him. So I think that's
then you would love this game, Josh. You would love this game. Todd can go adventuring.
No, because I got to interact with other people, and I know that would grind my gears too.
Well, like I said, I have not had to interact with a single person yet.
That'd be fun, yeah. I probably would like that, yeah.
But also fun if like you were playing and I were playing and we're like, yo, let's go kill this dungeon together.
Sure.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
But outside of that, just playing a lot of Call of Duty Zombies. Now it went from, this is a fun new mode to now we're good at it. Now we're going into the dark ether. We're looking up, how we get the secret things to unlock even, more secret stuff. So that's a blast. That's really has replaced my dungeon rating from ESO days. So love that. But that's pretty much been it, man. A lot of COD, a lot of Final Fantasy.
Okay. Simple enough. Just small games.
Yeah.
Small, relatively unknown games.
Oh, actually, I take that back. I have actually been sprinkling in pretty regularly some NBA 2K. I'm back to building up my team. My team is actually good now. I actually got some good cards. Shaq is
back to blowing layups.
Dude, but at a much, I would say a reduced clip for sure. Like I have Shaq as my starting center. I got LeBron, Steph Curry, Kobe, and Magic Johnson at the point guard, and much less layups missed this time.
I had no idea. that I didn't need to respect you. I had no idea.
Are you hating on having starting LeBron in my lineup?
No.
Right now? Are you hating on Shaq? What are you hating on right now?
What do you mean, what am I hating on? Soft serve Steph Curry. You play with soft serve Steph Curry?
He is literally there shockingly, so I got him for
I don't want to actually
3 point.
Stop talking about him. I get upset.
No,
I get
listen.
upset.
No,
I see him when he like. I stopped online banking when Chase put him as on the front page of Chase. I don't want to hear about him. I don't want to see his fucking face. I don't want to nothing about Steph Curry. I cannot fucking stand his existence. He can fuck off and die in a ditch. Fuck Steph Curry. I don't want to know about him. I cannot stand that fucking guy.
Josh.
I cannot fucking stand that guy.
Either way, in NBA 2K, he is somehow fast as F, and he will just blow by everyone. So he's a great guy. Great player.
He's soft serve. He's definitely the least physically imposing NBA player in NBA history. So that's why you call him soft serve. He should be fast.
Either way, that lineup is doing quite well. I got Joel Embiid coming off the bench with Anderson Varejao, who is still taking charges and just bodying people. I love it. It's fantastic.
He's like a character that you
like peak 2005.
He's a character that you unlock, or you made that character?
No, I definitely didn't make him. I've just so it's like on the newer versions, there are cards you have to get, like card packs.
I understand that, but the idea that Anderson Varejao would be available in some sort of like that's wild to me.
I mean, I've Magic Johnson. Can you get historical figures?
Can you get fucking like that's like I don't know. That's like Craig Elo. Can you get Craig Elo? Like
you might be able to. You might be able to. Like, you can't get like everybody like in
NBA history.
history.
Anderson Varejao is like would be in my like expected like 97th percentile,
and he's rated 91
or third
too,
percentile.
So he's solid.
That's insane.
I'm not using him for offensive domination, but he's grabbing boards. I'm telling you, he's doing defense. All those things that he really did.
He was a cleanup guy. Yeah, he was a cleanup guy. Rodman mold. Okay. Well, that's fun to hear.
Gotta love that.
That it?
That is it, sir.
Okay.
What about you? Clearly, VR and Punch Outs.
Yeah, that's before I get to that. So I meant like I got off into some whatever we talked about last time, and I forgot. We started, and I was like, oh, I found something crazy, and I forgot to talk about it. A multiplayer thing that I found, and we didn't. I just ended up not getting to it, but Outer Wilds VR. I ended up.
What?
I saw something about it, and I was like, I went to Steam, and it happened to be on sale for $14.99. The base game, you need the base game obviously to do the mod, and it was like $14.99. Like I can do that. Just like literally, if I only do it once, like it's worth $15. So like I downloaded it on Steam and got all the VR. Like there's like because of how much that game is fucking adored, someone has made like this really turnkey mod interface, or it's like a separate program that just like it downloads and installs, and you can turn on and off all that. It's like a UI for the mods, which is fucking fantastic, because like I did that for Subnautica, and it was a lot more work for Subnautica for sure. So it was cool that existed, and yeah, there's just a whole bunch of stuff you can do, and there is fucking a bunch of wild shit that you can do. There's a co-op, which is what got me into this idea. I still haven't tried that yet, because that's a whole fucking thing, but there is a co-op mode where you can go into the world with other players, which is crazy. It kind of, I don't know how cool that would be. Maybe hanging out with friends, but like just like again, I mean, like obviously I'm averse to just random multi shit to begin with, so maybe that's why I feel this way. But like it's like the whole idea or vibe of Outer Wilds is like this isolation and discovery on your own, so like I don't know what co-op or multi would add to that, or how it would just fucking around and doing weird shit. Maybe sure, playing with the physics and stuff could be fun, I suppose, again if you're with someone that you can actually enjoy that with, which is more unlikely with randos. But just the regular
experiencing that for the first time with somebody else together,
right? Maybe, and you're solving the going through the discovery process with someone, that could be fun for sure. Yeah. But yes, that was kind of the thing in general, even without the co-op aspect of it, just playing it alone. Like, yeah, it was amazing to be in the world in VR, and like, it's just incredible. But it also kind of just bummed me out, because that game, there's never been a game, even Subnautica, because Subnautica at least has like the base building, and like, there's things that to do once you know everything around you, but Outer Wilds, there's nothing. What if you know how everything, if you beat the game, there's just nothing to do. And there's no way to get the fix that game gives you, the discovery and the bewilderment and just wanting to know more, go further, go deeper. If you take that away from that game, it's just a bummer that you're in that world. So you have the emotion of being there, but there's nothing to do and there's no way to truly enjoy it the way it's meant to be enjoyed. And that just is depressing, It's like literally depressing to be in. I turned it on, I went around the village and I couldn't even get myself, I flew around a little bit, but I couldn't even fuck around and just go do a known objective. If you could even say that game has objectives. I don't know if it does really, but even just go and do one thing that I know part of the process of that 20-minute flowchart of beating the game that you can do the first time you turn it on if you know how to do it, or someone told you. So I couldn't even get myself to really go do anything, just I kind of enjoyed it and talked to people, went to the museum and just enjoyed being back there in a VR space for a second. But I was after that I was I don't know what else to do with this, but super cool that it exists. And I guess it's a bummer that I didn't do that or have that for the first experience, because that would have been fucking incredible.
It sounds like you just need to wait for Outer Wilds 2 to get released.
Yeah, and hopefully that's happening. I've never heard anything about it, and I just don't, I don't know. There's just no way it'll be as good, because I told you, the development process of this was this unique thing that cannot be replicated. It just can't be. It was too slow burn and too incremental and too unknown. That. Except the whole basis of the game, it kind of mirrors in this weird meta way how the game was developed. This slow discovery and didn't even know it was going to become what it became, and it just is so much about it. It's just unreplicable, I think, in so many ways, which is part of its beauty, I suppose. But
yeah, I think Courtney's going to be playing that soon. She's excited.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. She
just bought it. Yeah.
Really? Oh man, yeah, it's so good. Tell her to stick with it. Don't give up, and don't let the ship mechanics turn you off. They're gonna piss you off at first, but they're supposed to be clunky, and you'll understand once you get into the story. You'll understand why that is the case, or why it makes narrative sense, and why you should have that friction at first, because you're a new space traveler. You shouldn't be able to do it just fluently to begin with, Right. Anyways, yes, much more, less of a bummer. The other day, I'm sitting, it was early morning, I think it was might have been Wednesday. I'm sitting at my computer and kind of just doing my morning stuff and working, and I'm checking my feeds and dilly-dallying as I always do, instead of just fucking being productive like a moron. And I see some shit, I just see some things trickling in of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in VR. I saw this emulator, I follow the simulator on Facebook, is probably where he's most active. It's just a solo developer that's doing that emulator. And, that's been around for a long time. I've had the VR iteration of it a long time, and I've done some shit with that and had some fun with it. And I saw recently that he had been working on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I had no idea that the plan was full motion control. And I see this Wednesday morning, and I cannot explain how instantaneously I stopped everything that I was doing and just went off on a mission to make this happen in my life. The idea of playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in VR with full motion control, doing the stuff,
What? So you're not even up?
No, Jay. You are dodging. You are ducking. You are holding your fucking hands over your head to block. You are punching high. You are punching low.
How do you even deal with
it's fucking Jay? Jay,
Does your back hurt, Josh?
Jay. Dude, my side hurts.
I'm thinking about what you
dude, my side hurts. I have a fucking... right now, it is sore on my side because I dodged to the left. And when I make that move sitting in my chair right now, it hurts a little bit over here.
Oh, man.
Yes, Jay, it's fucking insane. It is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Whatever the fuck you're doing with your life right now, it is not as cool as what this dude is doing and just achieved. It's so good, man. It's so good. And it's not perfect, dude. It's, it just released. There are fucking things with it that are annoying, and it's not fully, especially like, you know, I was able to get through the minor circuit. Still a little frustrating at times, but I was able to get through it. Major circuit, no, knocked the fuck out. And like part of it, you know, it's not all just like the program's fault. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's fucking hard. So it's sore. It's hard. I get tired. I'm sweating. I don't sweat my VR thing. I'm sweating at times playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is fucking mind-blowing to me to say out loud.
Just knowing all the bosses that you have to, knowing the fighters you have to face,
and like, oh my god,
I'm like, how do you do that in VR with full motion?
And it's so cool.
Weaving and ducking, and like,
it's so cool too, because like the way that app works, you can put the camera anywhere, you know. So like, you know, you get knocked down. Like, I was recording videos of like when I first turned it on, Glass Joe knocked me the fuck out, and like I got a video of looking up from the mat at Glass Joe taunting me above and Mario standing next to him.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, very shameful for sure, but cool as fuck that you can look at it that way. You know, just literally. I mean, that's the thing. Dude, I know I just like fucking never shut up about it, but like just like being able to experience being on the mat at Glass Joe's feet, like to have that perspective it's something you didn't know that you wanted or would ever want to be possible, but when you see it, it is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's just incredible. VR is just so fucking incredible. But yes, this dude, man, he has taken this solo developer. It's one fucking dude that has built this thing. And he has to go, you know, I've said it before, he has to go in and build a conversion file that kind of ports the ROM that exists already into the app and implement it. And obviously for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, implementing the motion control component of it is a whole new layer of, so, you know, I wouldn't even have thought that was possible. So the fact that he had the idea, took the initiative, and did the work is just, oh god, it's incredible. But this dude, man, I'm sitting there playing the game and I'm like, this guy has single-handedly repaired the trauma suffered by all the kids out there that were duped by Mattel into talking their parents into buying them the Schmauer Dove to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with. It's like he is fixing 30 years of trauma in an entire what is the fan base of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Near infinite. Like, I think I shed a fucking tear, dude. I think I might have teared up at one point while I was fucking playing the game. Like, I just couldn't believe that it was happening to me. That I was, and like, yeah, dude, yeah, like there's, like I said, there's some kinks. Like the toughest thing, and I was actually, immediately, you know, I'm like tweeting like oh my god, like fucking everyone needs to see this. Like, oh my god, look at this. Go play this. Stop what you're doing and go, you know, and like. The developer, you know, he's got like 1,000 some Twitter followers. This dude, he starts tweeting back like, you know, if you have feedback, let me know. So I'm like tweeting with the guy like the morning of, like, you know, feedback. You're like, yeah, I wouldn't have like taken the initiative to do that, but he was asking for it immediately. So I'm like, okay, here's what I think is the problem. You know, so like, tell him, you know, the little hangups I had. But like, the real tough thing is sometimes when you're intending to dodge, you'll duck, and that might not sound like a problem. But if you play the duck is way slower, and not, you know, and not only is the dodge faster, period, but the dodge allows you to come back fast too. You know, you can hit right, which you can do that with your head, yeah. And like it'll fucking do the quick comeback. And I mean, there are guys later in the game that you have to do that to, even like Mike Tyson. I mean, dude, I haven't gotten to it yet, but last night I was like, I just want to be there standing in front of Mike for a second and see what happens. And like, I've watched the video. It's like a 45-second video, dude. You gotta look it up. I posted it, of course. I can't stop watching it. And like, I gotta like sit and just watch I don't watch my I don't do that. But like, I can't stop watching this video and I laugh out loud every time. It's so fucking funny. And it's like there's like, you can see like, I'm like, he, you know, because he has that, like, he looks like he's gonna go, but he doesn't. With that opening flurry of fucking of haymakers he does, and like 2 times in a row, like I walk out there and like I like think it's coming, and I move, and I come back and it's boom, it's just down, and the fucking the VR.
It's like real life.
Yeah, it's like the VR iteration.
Like, oh, you thought you had something.
Oh, dude, yeah, the VR iteration of Mac on the ground and like turning pink, and like the way he like, because he made the sprites like, you know, they're still flat sprites, but they like have a little bit of depth to them. So it's like, it looks like a shrinky dink getting knocked to the ground is what kind of what it looks like. And yeah, and like he goes down and like I get his ass up and he walks out, he just fucking runs out there again, and like the exact same thing happens. Like Mike stands there for a second, I'm like I fucking I dodge too early again, and I come back and just same exact thing, just boom, and fucking straight down. And I like try to get up, but I can't get up. And it's fucking Mario walks out and KO. And fucking,
I feel like we're having this conversation like we were 12, and we're like, yo, I would step in the ring with Mike for $1 million. I was like, this is what would happen.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, dude. When I posted the video on Twitter, I tagged Jake Paul in it. It's like fucking, yeah, dude. It is. I'm telling you right now, I laugh out loud. I've watched the video probably 20 times since yesterday, and I laugh out loud every single time because it is just so matter of fact. So yeah, like, you know, I don't see how you could ever beat Mike Tyson in this thing. I'm sure everyone's good, whatever, you played enough, you get good at it. But like, yeah, so like the ducking thing is a problem, and like, you know, punching high too, because like it's just air, you know. So like, and honestly, I don't even know if it's the program. I might just be getting lazy and not, because like to punch up, you really gotta like punch up and not kind of
ceiling,
you know, and like, so that's tough and like when you know, if you want to hit high and not hit low, that really fucks you a lot of times.
The special and your star move, do you really
that
go down and wait?
That's mapped to a button, and honestly, it's all your buttons still work. So like your two right buttons on the Oculus controller are A and B. So if you want to cheat, basically you can, you know. So like to get, I was able to beat Dom Flamenco and King Hippo kind of half and half in it, like a little bit of motion control, and then when I really needed to do something because I was about to get knocked out, I could use the buttons, you know, and the sticks and stuff. But yeah, the left top button is your uppercut, and there's a way. It tells you a way to do it. I don't understand what it's saying to me though. When it comes on, there's like a message that comes up that says like hit the punch button, like you like punch twice to do the uppercut, but I don't know, like it's that again, it's so critical, the timing on that. So I'm just hitting the button to do the uppercuts. So that's an option too, you know. But yeah, I was able to beat the first 3 guys with just motion controls, and it's so fun. So fun. So fun. Oh my God. And it's just great, dude, because you're in there and like, you know, they're doing the fucking dance, the music's going, the fucking Don Flamenco's walking his ass out in front of you talking shit. It's so good, dude. It is like, the idea of being in that game like that is just, that's on a fucking another level, dude. There's such a good job. And like, you know, like I said, just came out. Admittedly, he was like, that was the thing. I was like, maybe you could just like map the duck to a button too, to take it out of being a possibility, you know, and like, yes, that's not ideal, but it's better than ducking when you don't want to. And he was like very matter of fact. He was like, no, I want it to be all motion control. Like you can tell that he wants to, and he's right. I mean, he's right. That's
the ring and get
that's what you should be striving for. He's right, especially from the developer's perspective. But me in the moment, I'm like, I want it now. Yeah, but dude, yeah, just oh my God, and it's not hard. The emulator, I think, is $15 with the VR. I think it might be $10 without VR, and then the VR version is $15. So beyond worth it. It's on Steam. You just got to get the Steam VR client, which is free on Oculus, and other than that, just go get the ROM, you know, and fucking it's fucking incredible, dude. I cannot. So tired. Like I said, sore. I'm sore from playing fucking Mike Dyson's Punch Out. Crazy. So that, yeah, hands down, the most fun thing that happened to me this week. I had no idea it was coming, and my life is better because of it. So that, and then, of course, playing Asgard's Wrath 2, I got the 4th character in that, and he's undead, which is cool.
Nice. He's
like a zombie type dude, and like you can like pull your head off and throw it at things to possess them. And that's yeah, it's fucking wild. It's like a very, I think I said it for the first 3 characters, but it's wild how they were able to. Yeah, I did. I feel I can feel myself repeating myself. The muscle memory is there of saying this, but like the way they were able to create a completely different attack mechanic set for 4 different characters is crazy. Such a good job to come up with weapons and like just a complete for it to feel different.
Yeah,
and not just look different was so good. Good job. I'll admit, I think I might be in the final saga now. Like his world is like this land of the dead place, you know, and it's crazy. It looks like Miami Vice, dude. Like it's moonlit, of course, but then all the fauna and stuff is like this like neon Miami Vice, aqua and pink color palette, you know. So it's a really wild looking place, very different. The rest of it is all kind of rooted in real world looking things, you know, so it's a nice change of pace visually too. I did the walkabout mini golf Meow Wolf putter hunt, and dude, it's the toughest one yet for sure. I mean, it's all like there's no words, you know. I don't know if you remember the other ones, but there'd be like clues, like telling you, like no, it's all sketches and no written direction at all, and like. It's all sketches that look like it's just trees of some kind. It was hard as fuck, dude. It took me a long time. I think I looked up maybe 1 or 2 of them because I was just like, I spent like 20, 30 minutes in some cases on just the one clue, and I'm like, I just don't. I've looked at everything. I have no idea, you know. So they definitely dialed up the difficulty on that. And then one other random thing. So when we got a couple days after we finished recording that last mag app, for one reason or another, I decided it came to mind to check in on the coin game. Another, like, I think this dude might be my favorite developer other than this 3D Sen guy now. And he's just relentless about making this game bigger and better every goddamn day. So he's constantly releasing stuff. And yeah, that for some reason that popped into my head. I don't know if I saw something somewhere or what that brought it to mind. But sure enough, I mean, I hadn't played it since like last July. I was looking at the date. So I can't believe it's been that long since I played it. But I fired up and he dropped 2 things around Christmas that are pretty fucking interesting. He built a water park on the east side of town. So it's like, it's got all the things, dude. It's got like a wave pool. It's got a lazy river. It's got a couple of water slides that you do, you know, all the things, you know, and like, it's, you know, it's again, there's nothing to do there that like advances the game really, that at least that I could glean. You know, there's a few things you can buy there, but like nothing that you need or whatever, you know. So it's literally just something to do in town. And I told you, like, it's wild how much of that's in that game. And you know, there's a bunch of like little fun haha moments that, like, if you've been to water parks, which most kids have, you'll definitely pick up on while you're walking around it. You know, it's just so fucking fun and cool. And the other thing was, I found that mall a while back, and I might recall me mentioning that there was a movie theater that wasn't open yet on the one side, and he finished the movie theater. So now you can go in to a fucking movie theater, and there's a counter, a bunch of shit you can buy. You got to buy a ticket. You got to go into the theater. There's a bunch of people in the theater, and when you sit down, you can watch a fucking movie. And like, there's no movie there yet. It's got like some promo, like commercials for town things, like the town gas station and shit. So there's like some stuff there to watch, but he doesn't have a movie in it yet. And I watched this. I was like, you know, like it would be a cool thing to just put like fun, like kind of in the vein of quirky short films in there. So I emailed the guy. I actually emailed him, and I was like, hey man, I got a weird ass fucking movie about wizards. This fucking short 7-minute comedy I did. I was like, you can use it for free if you want, you know. So if he hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I offered to give him a movie for it, so that would be cool. And something, it would be a cool thing for him to do in general. Not just my movie, but you know, whoever's. But cool, again, like little quirky things. 2 wizards, 1 staff. You ever seen that? Have I ever sent you that?
No. I've seen the video posted. I don't think I watched the whole thing though.
Okay, yeah. You should. It's 7 minutes. It's pretty fun. Won a bunch of awards and shit. It's comedy, so it's fun. But yeah, it's basically a young black wizard apprentice is out walking his dog, which Miyagi played the dog, and he bumps into a Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard also walking his dog, and they have a little moment, and like the young wizard doesn't like that. It's yeah. I think people liked it because he is so earnest in his. It's no clue. He has no clue what the fuck the Ku Klux Klan is. He has no idea. No clue. And like the other guy is like, you know, trying to get out of the conversation stat. You know, so it's like, it's a beautiful moment, I think, of just like genuine, because like the young wizard is like, he's like, the opening moment is he fails at casting the spell that he's been trying to learn. He's trying to make this aluminum can disappear off the ground. And like, he's trying to do the spell and it doesn't happen. And the dog's looking at the can and back up at him and shit. It's great. Maggie did an Oscar winning performance there. But so he like fails to the spell. So he's like this struggling with, can't get his shit right. Right. So he meets this guy and he's like, holy shit, a fucking wizard. Like the guy's in a wizard fucking outfit too. Like, holy shit. Like, you know, in LA, it's hard to meet people of like mine. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, you know, what's your deal? Like, you know, and the guy's like, I'm a grand wizard in a wizard organization, you know, and he's like, oh my God, like show me a spell. Like, help me. And he's like earnestly trying to get this fucking guy to help him, you know? And of course, like that's not the it all came out. The idea came from, I fucking was listening to one of my favorite history podcasts, Time Suck. I think I've talked about it before. He's a comedian, and but he does well-researched history shows too. And he did one on the Ku Klux Klan, and they did a whole bit about like the hierarchy and like how, you know, basically the different titles and stuff. And like he had this moment where he's just like, what kind of psychopath calls themselves a grand wizard if you can't cast some spells or something? Like if you don't have any, if you don't have anything that like all the like the fiber of being a wizard, like how insane
you have no
do you
magic?
Yeah, exactly. How insane do you got to be to call yourself that if you don't have anything like whatever, you know? And like I just couldn't get that out of my head, and I literally came home. We were in San Diego on the trip when I heard that episode. I literally came home, wrote that, and shot it within a couple of months. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, so the whole point is just like the absurdity of calling yourself a wizard, basically. That's kind of what it points out. But anyways, it's kind of, like I said, it's quirky and weird and fucking would have been perfect for that world, you know? So we'll see if that happens or not. But and yeah, the theater's super well done. Like it's all fucking great. It's just so good. So good. The show, link to the fucking that short's in the show notes too, if you want to listen to it. Listeners, or watch it rather, listeners. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Jay, I turned on my Xbox.
Gasp.
Yes. What did you had
play?
To watch a DVD I ordered because it was of this obscure 2011 documentary that I wanted to watch. It wasn't on any streaming platforms, so I had to dig my controller out of the junk drawer to watch that DVD.
Such disrespect. Mission 1 theme, bringing us in. Josh.
In a city destroyed by war and crime, you count on each other to survive. You are Billy and Jimmy Lee, the twins they call the Spike and the Hammer. When it comes to martial arts, you're both street lethal, leaping kicks, knee smashes, judo throws. You are the masters. Now get ready for the biggest battle of all. The Black Warriors, meanest gang in the city, has kidnapped Jimmy's girlfriend, Marianne. She's the bait they're using to lure you onto their turf. You're going to get her back and take care of the Black Warriors' gang once and for all. It's going to take every fighting skill you have. And if you make it to the headquarters of the Black Warriors, you'll face the greatest surprise of all, the lead of the gang. And that is from the back of the box setup. There's a few different iterations they give you of the story. That's the one on the back of the box. Jay. What the fuck is Double Dragon?
It is. You know, I was going to say it was a classic beat 'em up. You know, some might say the classic OG beat 'em up. One of the top 10 most influential games of all time, as noted by yours truly. But not just as noted by yours truly,
I would,
but also several other news outlets as well.
Yeah, I would say I would support that, even as a not beat 'em up guy necessarily. Of this era, I like beat 'em ups later.
Oh, yeah.
I like 16-bit beat 'em ups, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that I hate the art form. I just think they're too limited.
Well, especially early on. You know,
right.
That's why, if you're watching me, I have Super Double Dragon behind me because I realized how much I loved that version.
I've
and it was
definitely
like,
never played that
and
one.
then like beat 'em ups really that era of beat 'em ups going forward.
Is is it a port of the original just on?
No, it's a new game. Yeah, it's a new game.
Okay,
it's awesome.
Well, this SMS iteration dropped in November 1988 via Sega's publishing arm, just 1 month after an October 1st drop in Japan. And we haven't, we diddled around in 1990 a lot, so I kind of stopped talking about the current event happenings at the time. But going all the way back to 88, there was some stuff in there that I was like, that's shit we haven't talked about before, so why not? So, yes, November of 88 happenings that I thought at least funny, if not interesting. Kokomo by the Beach Boys hits number 1 on the Billboard charts at the top of the month, riding the wave of its inclusion on the Tom Cruise star vehicle Cocktails' soundtrack. So that's why it was up on the charts. And in the box office, for the full month, the top 4 is pretty fucking legit. Child's Play was riding enough heat from Halloween to top the chart. We're friends till the end! I fucking love that movie as a kid, dude. When they open up, it's like the Ring moment for me. Like, as an adult, the most, like, what the fuck kind of horror movie moment was when, in the Ring, I wasn't even barely an adult when this happened when I first saw this in college, but when she plucks that fly off the fucking screen, I lost it, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, like fucking crazy. But Child's Play, same moment as a kid even. I had a similar moment. When he opens up the back of the fucking doll and there's no batteries in it, I was like, oh my God!
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, I fucking love that movie as a kid, dude. And then Scrooge, which is possibly my favorite Bill Murray joint. Right there with What About Bob and Groundhog Day.
Still a classic.
My top 3 probably I would say is at number 2. Did you try Staples? It's my favorite quote from that. I don't know. Do you remember that when the little guy comes up to him with the mouse? And he can't get the fucking handlers to stay on him. Did you try Staples? And then Ernest Saves Christmas is some more holiday shit at number 3. I am not a fan of those, but they were big.
I watched a lot of Ernest back in the day.
Did you? I the Saturday morning show I watched some, but the movies I never got into, I would say.
I think we rented them a lot. Like there was I think it was called Rent-A-Flick.
I'm sure those did a lot better in home video. That's a home video and a half.
Like
kind
Ernest
of thing,
everything. Like, well, there's another Ernest. Hey, they're funny. We're gonna do it.
I watched I don't know if it was a full documentary. I watched something about it. He was actually a pretty cool dude, like one of the nicer human beings on the planet, dude. Like that dude did an insane amount of fucking like just charity work and just all sorts of humanitarians. The guy fucking did like an endless a lifetime worth of shit on top of also being a well-known actor that did all these crazy ass movies, So it seemed like a really, really cool dude, even though I wasn't a big fan of the shtick. But he also smoked like a fucking chimney, and that's why he's not around anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then the last one was The Land Before Time, was just getting started with its run.
Oh,
at number 40, so that's pretty hot, too, So, yeah, very good top 4 at the box office. And then just some other random things. On the 2nd of the month, a Mexican radio station erroneously reported that current heavyweight champ Iron Mike fucking Tyson had died in a car crash. And there's 2 Mike Tyson things on this list. Those came in before this VR shit. So it's just funny how Mike Tyson he just never. I was thinking that when I was looking, I saw there's a video going around this morning of him starting his training regimen for the Jake Paul deal. And like, it shows him busting his ass at the end. He's like fucking says some shit that like scary as fuck. It's like, it's just amazing how that guy has like, since he's like, what, fucking 17 years old, he has made, like, is there anyone that's maintained a stronger burn for a longer period of time in the spotlight? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if in my lifetime, I'm not sure. There are, like, even movie stars. I mean, Tom Cruise, maybe, but fuck him. And, like, Mike Tyson's way more interesting and had a much harder life. So, like, that's way more impressive to me than Tom Cruise being him, So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that this morning when I was watching that video. Yeah, respect for sure. So yeah, so that he had died in a fucking car crash. Very weird thing to me to be on one of these date lists, in my opinion. Just like a random erroneous report, Again, probably a testament to what Mike Tyson means celebrity-wise. It's like a random report of death. That'd be like a fake tweet now. It's just like,
Right? Like, what are we doing?
Big fucking deal, you know? So I guess, there's fewer fake tweets back then. Maybe that's why, but I thought that was interesting.
Because you got to go to press and then you got to like answer for that. You can't just do a quick delete. Like,
sorry,
I promise.
Yeah, you don't just delete your account. Yeah. On the second, also, the Morris worm, which was the first internet distributed computer worm to get mainstream media attention, was launched from MIT and strikes the Pentagon and 6 other universities. So, kind of interesting technology thing. And then old George H. Bush Sr. took down Michael Dukakis at the polls for the U.S. presidency on the 8th. And do you remember anything about that election, dude? I remember having some vague reason for being pro Dukakis. And I don't know why, but like I just remember wanting Dukakis to win. And I can remember like that magazine, I think we've talked about it before. There was like that school magazine that it was like a current event magazine that they... Who knows how that got propaganda shit into our fucking mailboxes at school. But, like, I remember that being on there and for whatever reason being a Dukakis supporter. Do you have any...
I remember thinking that, too, and I don't know why. Like, it was very much a thing. Like, very much a thing.
Yep.
Like, there's not too many people that I could tell you who I, like, especially as a kid, that I remember presidential-wise who...
I remember nothing about Mike Dukakis other than name.
But I remember that. Like, yeah.
So yeah, that was probably that magazine. That magazine was probably super left-wing agenda stuff. Just fucking pounding into our heads. The liberal agenda. Pretty interesting factoid of the 25th. Elena, and fuck if I can pronounce this, Akhmilovskaya, a Soviet-born woman who was crowned a Grandmaster of Chess in 1977 by some chess governing body, whoever does that, married a U.S. chess team captain and also a grandmaster. This guy's name was John Donaldson, while they were physically at the Chess Olympiad in Greece. And can you just imagine, when I was reading this, and the reason it was interesting to me was, can you imagine like the heated Sunday morning chess games between those two fucking people? You know what I mean? Like, it just had to be so competitive. Like the most competitive thing ever, you know?
I'm sure it was one of those like, no one has ever challenged me like you before.
Yeah,
we must get married immediately.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, who knows? They live out their days in Seattle, Jay. They're not around anymore, but they lived in the Pacific Northwest after getting married. Lastly, the aforementioned Iron Mike would catch 2 civil cases this month. An NYC-based furrier would sue him for $92K on the basis of non-payment of purchase. So he just fucking took some furs. He was like, I'm Mike Tyson, don't worry about it, I'll pay you. And then walked out or whatever. And then never bothered to pay it. So the guy was suing him, at least allegedly, who knows. But it sounds believable. And then one Robin Givens would request a slightly larger amount of money, $125 million, on the basis of libel. And this was her legal answer after Tyson requested an annulment of their marriage, accusing her of stealing millions from him and manipulating the public, in quotations, which was his response to her filing for divorce because of repeated spousal abuse. And kind of read all that like back and forth and kind of thought to myself, like, you probably should have just let her steal whatever she stole. You know, I don't know. I guess you can't, you know, who knows? Who knows what, you know, all the inner workings of that. But like, I'd be trying, I don't know. Starting a legal battle on top of whatever the hell the divorce is going to be was probably not a wise decision and was bad advice from his counsel at the time. I'm sure
he was trying to protect his image immediately. Like, no.
Well, you know.
Less sponsorships, less fans, less draw.
Sure. People think his people might have been doing that, yeah, but I don't feel like Mike was probably worried about that. Artwork and cover art, and artwork and manual, rather. There is an illustration of Billy and Jimmy punching and kicking their way through a switchblade-wielding gang of ruffians, a night city skyline set behind them on the box cover, title treatment up top on a somewhat Asian-inspired font that I can't explain why I feel that way about it, but it is. And a Chinese dragon is snaking its way through the text. Pretty cool. And the Sega logo is real big up top as well. The traditional white thatch background behind all that. A yellow starburst in the corner that reads arcade. And for 1 or 2 players in red on the upper right. The back starts off by reiterating that this puppy is a 2-player Double Dragon iteration, just like the arcade. And that is suggesting the subtext that this is unlike a certain version of a certain, or rather for a certain other very popular home video game console where you cannot play 2 players at the same time. So I feel like they are really accentuating that and driving it home that they have that feature.
Well, considering this one came, I think pretty sure the NES one came first, so this one came afterwards.
Right, it did. That was 87, I believe, if I recall.
It was.
4 screenshots, including one of the evil gang nabbing Mary Ann in front of Billy's muscle car in the garage, and it's not really disclosed that it's Billy's car. And it got me thinking, like, given that Billy gets the girl, or has the girl, you would hope that Jimmy at least has the fly whip. You would hope. That's kind of what I was thinking, that I hope it's Jimmy's GTO. Type deal in the garage there. It would be a bummer if Billy got the car and the girl. That'd be tough.
Well, if he's the older brother, maybe it was like that. Like, we're gonna pull our money together. I'm gonna own the car.
Right? Yeah. You're gonna help me come get my girl back too. Cancel whatever you're doing this week. And they have a box that specifies that there are 4 levels in the game, and that is an interesting relic of a dark, dark time when a port of an arcade game may very well not have all the levels in it. So that's mildly interesting. The manual, which is in the show notes, as it always is 20 pages, all of which are presented in a monochrome blue ink deal. That was how Sega did things back then. The cover is basically a replica of the box cover, but in the blue ink only. The inside cover is an otherwise blank page. This is so weird to me. Did you go through the manual?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So weird. Inside cover, before legalese, before anything, there's a shorter and sweeter story blurb with no heading, nothing beneath it. It's before the table of contents. It's just so weird to me. It reads, using the ancient oriental martial art of Kenpo, fight your way through a city controlled by ruthless gangs of thugs. Keep your guard up as you battle to save your sweetheart and restore the streets to law and order. So it's original copy. There's no heading. I don't know. Just fucking Sega is so weird.
I wonder if it was one of those things where, back in the day, if you never played a game, you would like flip open the manual to see what it was about. So maybe it's like, oh, what is this? As like a quick, oh, this is what you're getting into kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but they're going to give you a short synopsis again on page 2, which is how all manuals are set up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is weird that it's that and then just blank. It's like they were going to put art there and they're like, we ran out.
Got to roll it out. Yeah, we're in a hurry. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, just this Sega, there's weird shit all the time. Sega goofy. So I look at this, I was like, what the Kenpo? What the fuck is that a real thing? So I look it up. It is a real martial art. This isn't just made up video game bullshit. It translates most aptly to fist method. And there are a number of divergent martial art disciplines, including one that is considered a modified version of Shaolin Kung Fu that I believe Wu-Tang invented. And there's also a discipline called American Kenpo that is attributed to some cat named Ed Parker. That seems to be a very big deal in the U.S. karate scene. I didn't really want to go too far on it, but there was plenty. He had his own wiki for sure, and it seems like a big deal in the U.S. karate scene. Page 2, then again, gives us that synopsis, as I mentioned, and this iteration appears to be a slightly more flowery version of what was on the box cover. And this was my guess, anyways, this is my conjecture. This is probably the original, like the OG scripture from the copywriter himself, and then it got condensed for space on the box, most likely. But yeah, it does not explain why the fuck they had that tiny blurb on the inside cover in any way, shape, or form. Which is nothing in there, nothing to like at all, or not alike at all. Page 4 or 5 are a mission breakdown, and they start this by explaining the game format, that you have to play through the levels and then beat a Black Warrior Lieutenant at the end to proceed to the next mission. And the end points out that you'll have to defeat the leader of the gang at the end of the last mission to rescue Marianne, and that the identity of said leader might surprise you. And I would say, if anybody watches our Couch Co-op video, that is true.
Dude,
we have genuine surprise on a human being's face, captured timelessly for all the time. The 4 missions each get a screenshot and go as such: the slums, the factory district, the park, and the Black Warriors HQ. Page 6 lays down the law about continuing the game. Basically, you can continue when you run out of lives in missions 1 through 3 as many times as is necessary, but if you run out of lives in mission 4, you will not have that option and will have to start from the beginning. And that is a pretty punitive thing, I think, but it explains the unlimited lives code that I'll go over in the lunchroom table eavesdrops here in a moment.
Dude, that happened to me during my first playthrough. Like, I was I did it and then died, and I was just like,
yep.
What?
Yep.
What
The first time I died, and it happened, and I read that, but I'd forgotten it. And what happened to me, I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, I just like basically died, lost all my things, and wait, because you can't continue. Can you continue? That's game over, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's game over.
Yeah. So I went back to a save in 3 basically, died, and then fucking got the max and started my playthrough with that, if I recall correctly. Anyways, but yeah, once I realized that, I was like, I'm just gonna have to save scum my way through 4, and I did that in spades, which we'll talk about later, of course. Pages 7 and 8 are a fighting techniques breakdown, and it says there are 8 different attacks, and this is in addition to the standard punch and kick. And each gets an explanation and an illustration so you know what the fuck it's talking about. We'll cover those in controls. But when I first read that, I was like, how the fuck are they going to make 8 things happen with these 2 buttons?
This is one of the things that made me so impressed by Double Dragon from the beginning, because you had a 2-button, but you can do so many moves. Like, coming from Atari and other games where, like, you really can't do much. Like, you got
Atari for sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just can't do much. But this, once you know how to get you,
yeah. What do they do? What did they do on the 2600 version? I saw an ad for that. I meant to send it to you actually. I saw an ad for the 2600 Double Dragon, and like, you just have 1 button. The Atari 7800 had 2 buttons at least, right?
Yeah, the Atari 7800 definitely had a stick, but it had 2 buttons, so you could still do.
But yeah, what the fuck did they do in 2600? You only kick maybe? Oh, that's crazy. Like, how the
I don't even know.
And how would you do a jump kick? Like, how would you play Double Dragon without 2 buttons?
Was there a 2600 version?
There was, for sure. Someone just posted it yesterday. I saw.
I definitely had 7800. So clearly, like, that was subpar to even the Nintendo version. But it's funny because the amount of times that I've played this game across every platform, I've seen that opening car so many times in literally every platform.
It's such a good for the time. It's such a good prologue. It's so funny. It's so,
because I mean, like, it's funny because we talked about it during our 2-player. There's so many moves you can do, and there's so many moves that you can rely on. Like, I never used the headbutt until we played together, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's useful here. Like, I roundhoused so much more. I like head knee smashed and shoulder.
Same thing. I didn't use that. I didn't use that jumping back kick at all because again, you're like, I'm not letting myself get ganged up on because you're fucked if you get 2 guys on each side, and that's when that's really good for, is like to just get the fucking guy off your back. Basically, is the best use for that, and I'm never letting that happen in my 1-player game ever. So. It never even occurred to me to try to use that, and obviously it's counterproductive to try to turn your back to someone and then kick.
Right. Even
though it was devastating, it seemed to be extra powerful.
Oh yeah, it definitely worked. It definitely worked. That's why I started kind of letting him, like, oh, come in a little bit. I'm gonna,
Yeah. Yep. An impressive amount of variance, although so much of it is dependent on the 2-button jump, and that's so fucked. You got to hit the 2 buttons to jump because it is just so hard. So when it's like we were talking about Mike Tyson. It's like it seems like a small thing, but they're like, in the moment you hit those 2 buttons and you don't jump.
Oh, then
it's like it's devastating. It's like, motherfuck.
That's why, as great as it was, being able to, and I'm going to keep talking about this, being able to move on to like the Super Nintendo and have those buttons where, I just got an extra button for all of this.
Yep.
And then it's the whole world. The world is your oyster.
Yeah. Big difference. Page 9 is a weapon breakdown. This is a very fun aspect of this game. We have drums, boxes, and rocks that can be found in hurled fuckers. Probably my favorite. Super fun with 2 players because you just like playing fucking teeter-totter in the back. It's super fun. And then whips and bats can be scored and used until you get rocked and have them knocked out of your hands. And then knives and dynamite sticks can also be found and thrown. And the shitty thing that we mentioned in that couch co-op, you can't carry a weapon past the scene you discover them in. And like, not scene means like the screen you're on, basically.
Oh yeah.
Once that thumb comes up and tells you to advance in the stage, they take your shit away, which is a huge bummer, I think. Pages 10 and 11 have a half dozen illustrations of some of the bad guys you'll have to beat to win. That's how they worded it. And then it's titled The Black Warriors Gang. And the infamous Abobo is first up. And Jay, are you familiar with Abobo's Big Adventure? Do you know what this is?
I am. There's been so many Double Dragon games and spin-offs. Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yes, this is it might be the most creative thing ever made within the construct of NES code. You know what I mean? Like, I almost want to say there's a strong argument to be made that we should do. We already have our plates a little full right now with fucking Deadly Towers coming up, but I think it kind of warrants an emergency game ep of its own. I think it's a really maybe that's we have our 100th episode coming up, Jay. Maybe you want to decide that right now? You want to do a Bobo's Big Adventure for our 100th episode?
Oh man,
I think that's kind of a fun idea. Actually, you want to do that?
I mean,
It's
we could do it. I could do that.
I think it's timeline appropriate. You know, it's not like we're doing. I mean, yes, it was made fucking. I don't know. I don't even know when. A few years ago, probably.
Like
but
2012, I think.
It's. I mean, how much do you know about it? I mean, do you just know of its existence, or do you really know?
No, I just know of its existence.
Okay, well, dude, it's fucking. I think it. Let me say all this to you, and then I'll ask you that question again. And I think it'll be hard to say no. But the description they have on the website is the trio. They call themselves Team of Bobo, which is fun, have been working on this game for ages with one simple goal, to make a Bobo's Big Adventure the ultimate tribute to the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is the game that any kid who grew up on the NES always dreamed of playing, and it goes beyond anything the system ever could have been capable of. You play as a Bobo and guide him through parts of the best NES games ever created. You start in Double Dragon, but you pass through Legend of Zelda, Contra, Mega Man, Punch-Out, and it's fucking incredible. And there's nothing like cheesy or sprite swappy about it, dude. It is like well done levels in those game universes, like the game function, like that actual game functions. Like, you know, you're a Bobo going through Legend of Zelda dungeons. It is really smart and really well done. I highly, if you're not familiar with it, abobosbigadventure.com is the URL. It's in the show notes, of course. So smart and cool, and yeah, I think it's a nice, because we are kind of, it's not quite happening yet, but once the SNES drops, the way we kind of are petering, which is kind of why we did this game actually, is because we're kind of running out of runway on the SMS, and the NES isn't quite there, but it's getting there, and I think this is I think that would be a really nice send-off thing. And also timed well, like I said, with our stupid little 100th episode celebration. That's kind of fun. So, yeah, man, I think it looks like a really cool, fun thing that would be a good celebration of 100 episodes of this fucking thing.
I could be down.
Or, yeah, check it out. Obviously, once we get off, check it out and take a closer look. But I don't know. I don't know how that would I don't know how you could look at that and go be less inclined than you are right now. But perhaps. And then in these illustrations back in the manual, there's a Jeff in here too, and it's easily the funnest looking character, so I want to start attributing this to Jab for sure. Like, I immediately saw this and I was like, this is Jab. Like, it's got it's the final guy, the machine gun guy, which I never knew. Yeah, I never knew that guy's name was Jeff. It's such a funny, it's like, it's so, I don't know, Jeff does not fit him, obviously, you know, it's like a,
It's fascinating because I remember the characters' names. Like, I remember Linda and Willie. Like, I remember specific because they use some of the same characters.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
But Jeff is not a name that.
Yeah, that is double dragony to me. Yeah, I remember a Bobo. I of course remember Linda's. I remember the fucking Rower. What's the other guy's name? Roper. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, all those I've heard a million times. The Willie, I didn't remember there were a Willie and a William, but I remembered all those for sure. But I saw Jeff. I was like, what the fuck is Jeff? What the fuck, Jeff?
All I know is in the Lego movie, Jeff is the cat that our protagonist does not like. He's like, Fluffy, muffins, Jeff. Like, that's all I know, Jeff. Like, what did you do, Jeff? What'd you do this time?
Sounds like Todd vibes. Helpful hints are on page 13, and there's just 2. It says, learn the predictable movement patterns of enemies and use this against them, and that when fuckers flash, they are KO'd, so get on with your life and don't spend time waiting for them to get up. And that first one is kind of what I was telling you. Like, it like, I thought about this late in game when I was like, when it was getting really hard, and I was like, I thought about this, because, you know, you read these hints and you're like, yeah, fucking of course, yeah. Pay attention and then react accordingly, like, obviously. But like, they actually have like really predictable tendencies that you can exploit. And when you're late in game and there's like 4 motherfuckers on the screen and they're all require a million hits, like, being able to exploit those tendencies is key to not dying a million times. So it's actually a pretty good hint that is very helpful if you employ it how it can be best employed. Yep. There are 2 full pages of score boxes, handling your cartridge and warranty shit to close it out. Jay, tell me about notable history and Game Genie codes that might, maybe, sort of, kind of make you feel like you were cheating.
Well, history-wise, I mean, I was just shocked at how early this game came out. Like, 1987. Like, I just didn't realize, you know, how young I really was when the game, like, first released. And the fact that in our timeline going through magazines, like, theoretically, Like we're up to like Double Dragon 3 kind of thing. Like it blows my mind that like so much has really happened. You know, and how old that game really
already
is.
by 91, yeah.
Yeah, it's just shocking to me. And just in addition to that, I don't know, going through this, like we talk about Mega Man when I think about genres outside of like your natural, you know, series that were huge for everyone, like Mario and Zelda. Like for me, Mega Man was huge, but Double Dragon really was like a game that I've just played so much, so often. Like it's just outside of Mega Man, I don't think there's a series that I have played through and had such an affinity for growing up. And even to this day, you know, I've beat Double Dragon 3 as an adult a couple years ago, like recently, multiple times. And then I've played 4. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Super Double Dragon, like several of these spin-offs.
I've never played any of that shit.
Dude.
I don't even know if I've played, I'm not sure. I played 3. I'm sure I have played 3, but I'm
so
not
good.
positive of it. I can't think of like the difference between that and 2. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, man. I can remember those. Getting on the chopper.
Oh, yeah, the chopper. I remember the chopper. Yeah, I do remember the chopper. Fuck.
Yeah. So there's just so much going on.
Obviously, I have to do that game if there's a chopper in it. Fuck. Double Dragon. Just checking all the J boxes. Choppers, Double Dragon.
And really, like the games, the beat 'em ups that it spawn off, like where they appear in like Super Spike V-Ball, WWF Superstars, River City Ransom, obviously, and like the River City Girls and spin-offs from there. And the fact that even now, like current day, there is, like I've played Double Dragon Neon, which is a 360 game recently. And there's another one I saw, some other new-ish version that I'm probably going to buy that was recent. So like I'll keep playing Double Dragon if they keep making them, because it's always well done. Like Battletoads Double Dragon. Like that's a crazy idea. A hard game and a game I love together, but I played it. You know, it works.
How dope would VR Double Dragon be?
Oh my god.
Tiring as fuck. Also, you'll also be sore.
Like you can't make me do jump kicks. What are we doing? You know,
They have. I've been listening. I was one of the like really tech-minded VR podcasts I listened to was talking about there's like a leg tracking thing, you know, just like bands you put on your ankles and like, you know, obviously, yeah, you could like full roundhouses and shit. I mean, I'm sure it'll be possible, and motherfuckers will, you know, there's some motherfuckers who will get into that probably, but yeah, you know, it's something like just where you're actually kicking your leg out or something.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, dude, again, you just spend 10 minutes doing the Tyson thing, dude, and you'll be like, holy fuck.
First of all, I'd have to go outside. I'd need more space. Like I just need more space than that provides. And then, yeah.
Well, you don't need to move.
We need like 30 minutes of warm up before I'm playing this game.
Because I mean, if you think about it, you don't move at all. You're completely stationary, so you don't actually need a big space. Yes, you don't want to punch your ceiling if it's super low, but otherwise, it's actually one of the more contained VR experiences possible because you're just moving you never move your feet. Mac never moves. He's always standing right there.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of like having to duck down a lot and then really jump up, because if I really stretch up, I can hit my ceiling. I've done it before.
You don't want to jump up. Yeah, you just punch. You don't leave your feet.
I know, but I'm saying like even if I stretch all the way up, I can reach the ceiling. So I've hit the ceiling just playing VR normally. So I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that would be tough. That's tough.
So like having to do karate and kinpo in VR. Oh man,
kinpo. VR Kenpo.
I mean, I would try it, but I would go outside or something.
Right, that's fair. It works outside.
But yeah, man, that's really it for history. But I will say, there's literally one Game Genie code, and I think it's really because of like when the Game Genie came out. You know, there's literally just one, and that is one hit enemy. One hit kills enemies.
I would like to turn that on, and I don't know. It's impossible not to feel like you're cheating with that code, but at the end of the game, as pissed as I was, I'd have turned it on and been fine with it. At the end of the game, I don't know. Obviously, we'll get there, but I was fucking irate in my boss battle video.
Dude, I turned it on during my third playthrough or my second full playthrough, and like it didn't work, so I had to like finish it, and then it like worked once I reset it. I was like, oh, fine. Okay. So yeah, it definitely clearly felt like I was cheating because at that point, but
sure. Yeah, it would have felt good, though.
But it's the only code there is, so it is what it is.
Okay. Well, a little history thing for me, I've talked about it a million times, but this was one of the 2 Tiger handhelds I had I fucking
okay.
this Tiger handheld, man. Oh my god, I can like remember the wear and tear on it because it's just like I just carried it with me everywhere for so long. It was in my book bag everywhere I went. I took it everywhere for so long and spent so much time fucking trying to hide it at school and play it at school and on the bus. I just fucking jammed to no end until I got my Game Boy, basically.
Oh my
on that
gosh.
damn thing. I love that thing. And it was, those are so bad too. But the Double Dragon one was, again, you didn't have any options. It was fun as fuck and way better. It's like same deal, that Zelda watch I had as a kid and I reclaimed as an adult, the Zelda Nintendo watch for the LCD. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, dude! When I got that, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm playing fucking Zelda on my wrist." Dude. And it's literally just like a black dot moving across the thing.
I had the Double Dragon Acclaim handheld.
Okay.
So
there was an Acclaim one. That's right. There's an Acclaim one too. That's wild that it had 2 different iterations. That's crazy. Yeah,
it's Double Dragon. They were everywhere.
I had the Tiger one, and those fucking the Tiger one.
I mean, clearly nothing like even. That's why I think that's also one of the reasons I have such an affinity even for the freaking 7800 version, because I had this Acclaim one when we would travel, and that's what I had. So then when I got the Atari one, I was like, this is like I'm playing the real thing. That's great, until I finally got Nintendo. Yeah.
Word. Lunchroom table tip eavesdrops, going way back to Sega. I can't say it. Going way back to Seam Tega Newsletter, issue 4. For the first appearance of this. This was the fall 88 installment of that newsletter. And Double Dragon gets a little over a half page of coverage on page 9 of the rag. This is mostly a preview, but a handful of tips are dropped at the end. And many times it takes more than one knockdown to get rid of an enemy. So when a thug starts flashing, and they're literally just like ripping the shit out of the manual here, basically. When the thug starts flashing after being smashed to the ground, it means he's down for good. Move on to another target, they're telling you here. And then our boy John Sauer also weighs in with a Sauer says for it. He tells us, this game is wild. Remember to move fast if you want to use the dynamite. Also, rumor has it there's an invincible mode hid somewhere in the game. Can you find it? And pretty raw that it's teased here, but not delivered, I think. And even more so because Googling did not turn it up. So he's just making shit up and sending kids on wild goose chases. That's
right. Rude.
No. So yeah, this is what Googling that though is when I found that infinite credits once you get to mission 4 deal, which is at the very beginning, hit buttons 1 and 2 together to do the leaping reverse kick move 10 times in a row. It will enable this. And I mean, do you think it did get turned on and that's why we were able to continue, or did we not do it and just because we were playing 2-player we were able to do that? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, my before re-looking at the manual, I would have said I don't know how many continues you start with, so I can't tell. But looking at the manual, I think it must have, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think it must have. Yeah, because to your point, you came in like at 0, like, oh no, and then that happened.
Right. Yeah, but there was no like acknowledgement of having gotten it right either. And I would have guessed that again, you would have to do it 10 times in a row like successfully, and I never once was able to do it 10 times in a row successfully. When I first saw that, I was like, I'll never be able to do that. Like jump kick 10 times in a row? No way. Like that's impossible to do in my mind.
Have faith, Josh. Have faith in yourself.
Getting those 2 buttons.
Maybe mine did it and worked. So.
There are times a flying kick. This is the other thing he has to say. There are times a flying kick can't be beat. Use it when you have the room. And yes, this is a tale as old as video game time, the jump kick being devastating. And this is affirmed in a Sega Secrets segment mentioned for the game in issue number 5 too, where they tell you can take down multiple enemies at once if they're standing close enough together when you serve up this jump kick. So a couple appearances. But that is it up to this point anyhow for Sega Mag appearances. That is the Double Dragon theme from Super Double Dragon. Getting us rolling on the actual play of Double Dragon from the SEGA Master System. And they start us off with that iconic SEGA logo in the black void, which might seem like a duh, but this was not nearly as common a thing in 1988 and on the Master System as it would become later on the Genesis. No. So it is mildly significant they did that here. The logo drops out, we hang in black for the briefest of moments, and then the intertwined blue and red dragons cut in, dominating the screen as the raw-ass title screen. Music theme. Music rips in. Music. The title treatment materializes over top of them in both huge Chinese characters and English a bit smaller above it, and the background flashes across a range of epilepsy-triggering colors. The Chinese characters are pronounced Shuang Ji Long, I think, and translate literally to twin dragons. That's doing impressive. The fucking work, Jay. Podcasters doing the fucking impressive. Work. You can then let the music wind down, and the prologue cinematic will cut in, after which a demo of that first mission will start, or you can hit start, and you will also be treated to that cinematic before play starts. And this cinematic is fantastic. We were just talking about it, but it starts on a static shot of a nice city brownstone doorstep. The street out front is a very ornate brick that you just don't see in neighborhoods that anyone would call a slum, despite what the level is named. The garage door is open next to it. Inside there, we can see a very testosterone pulsing muscle car, the engine sticking up through the hood, cherry red paint job, etc., etc. Think GTO, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, there's only one size of dick possible on the owner of that car, and it's huge.
It is a much more impressive car than my OG 7800, I will tell you that.
Yeah, then Mission 1 appears center mass, and then Billy's girl appears in the middle of the street. Long red hair, tight pink pencil dress, red high heels, probably just going to get her morning bagel would be my guess. She's approached head on by a gang of 4 discernibly different thugs, and pretty sure I can connect the dots on all 4 of them to baddies and the enemy breakdown the manual, and that made me happy that I was able to identify them. The leader is the wife-beater sporting Williams. He's flanked by a Roper on his right and a Willie on his left. And lastly, but not leastly, Jeff, is creeping way back in the back there with a fucking assault rifle in his hand. And Williams walks right up to her without uttering a word or hesitating in the slightest and delivers a gut punch that is easily one of the most brutal depictions of man-on-woman violence of the 8-bit era. And it sends Marianne doubling over immediately right onto and over his shoulder. And he turns and carries her off screen right with the rest of the gang tagging along. And this all happens in a really eerie silence, except for one set of footsteps as Williams carries her off. The footsteps don't start until after she's over his shoulder. Other than that, there's no sound here, and those carry on until they leave screen, which is just a really weird sound design choice in my opinion. But whatever. Who knows? Maybe it's a bits limitation situation. Immediately after they leave the screen, Billy, or Billy and Jimmy, if you're rocking some couch co-op, as we eventually did, appears in front of the GTO. The Mission 1 music rips in, and it's time to kick some fucking ass. And Billy is red hair, blue jean vest and pants. Jimmy is blue hair, red jean vest and pants. Both rock wife beaters beneath their vests because they're fucking rad. That's why. And the controls here are super simple. Button 1 kicks, button 2 punches and picks up weapons. D-pad scoots around the screen. And as the manual mentioned, there are 8 advanced moves. The mullet-sporting, faceless jean vesters break down for us in the manual. And there is the leap and reverse kick. For this, you press both buttons simultaneously without any D-pad input, and you'll jump and kick in the opposite direction of the one you're standing. We find out later you got to hit up, though. Like, I wrote that here.
Yeah, I was always hitting up.
Okay, yeah.
That's weird.
Then there's the jump kick, which is both buttons again, both the D-pad in either direction that you want to, the direction of the kick to go, or the jump and kick to go. And then there's the elbow smash, and this is the D-pad opposite the direction you're facing, and punch at the same time. And then you crack an elbow back behind you. And the copy in the manual very funnily describes this as your elbow becomes a deadly weapon. And then there's the headbutt. This is my go-to once I realized that the jump kick kind of tapers off as a useful attack later in the game. But you double tap D-pad right or left to give your enemies a real headache, it describes it as. And then there's the roundhouse kick and uppercut punch. These are described a tad confusingly, but it basically just happens as you repeatedly kick or punch fuckers multiple times in succession. So it's like a combo completion deal. And landing these are purported to be more powerful than standard kicks and punches, as you would assume. There is the head knee smash, And the manual claims that when you stand on top of a downed enemy, your mullet hero will automatically place them in a headlock. Once you've done so, pressing kick will do this knee smash. And I've probably been looking at the animation of this attack, Jay, for 30 plus years now, across multiple Double Dragon games and ports and what have you. And I've never once thought of this as a headlock. I don't know about you. I've always thought of grabbing them by the hair.
Really?
Yes. That does not look like a headlock to me.
I feel like certain versions, it looks like a headlock. Other versions, it definitely looks like you're grabbing their hair.
Yeah. Fair enough. Perhaps I've just not played the right versions. But yeah. When they called it headlock, I was like, what? Headlock?
Like, wait
but
a minute. Check
other thing here, again, another wonky explanation. That's saying when they're down, you can pick them up this way. And I would only do this when I'm trying to headbutt, basically, when they're standing up. I never once had this happen picking someone up. I've never once had that happen.
So, yeah, another thing, because it's been a while since I played this version, I did not at all think of that in this, but that is actively what I know to do in, like, Double Dragon 2 or 3, you know?
Okay.
So it's just fascinating. I didn't do that specifically here.
I don't think it works.
Standing
so it's good,
above them.
Good you didn't.
But I think it does. I think it does.
I tried. I wasn't able to pick
Really?
anybody up. Maybe I'm not staying at the right part. I don't know. Who knows? But I was never able to get it to work reliably, if at all. And that was frustrating. So I just abandoned it.
Gotcha.
And the other thing you can do from this is the shoulder throw. And it's the same as the knee smash, but pressing punch and you'll whip them backwards over your shoulder, which is...
I love that part.
Yeah, super fun.
I love that move. Probably
my favorite as well, just as far as the animation goes, you know. Maybe as an attack, too, if I was able to do it reliably. But like I said, I wasn't able to. And then the HUD is a black bar up top, and it is exactly as it would be on the arcade cabinet. There's the second player part on the right is always flashing push start during the one-player game, beckoning another kid in the room to drop a proverbial quarter and start kicking some ass with you. And the high score is always present in the middle, too, so that's very fun. And each player gets a remaining life counter next to a little head sprite, and then a 5-unit health bar. The boxes are blue when filled, red when empty. The depletion rate of these is not a 1-to-1 unit. It's like not every hit takes one block. They do better than that, you know, but it's tough to say what the exact math might be. I wasn't able really ever to. And I'm sure it changes as you go through the game. The guys probably
depending on their attack, depending on the enemy.
Yep. And then you have a score above your life bar, of course. So yes, here in the first mission, we are in the slums, and we right there in front of Billy's house, I guess. You get a couple Williams Roper parents to start off the gang harassment. After you knock the shit out of them, a thumbs up hand icon flashes in the upper right corner of the screen, urging you to move forward. And yeah, it just kind of like initial impressions. It took me a few run-throughs of this first mission to get the hang of the AI, but It seemed to me that the priority number one needs to be keeping everyone on one side of you. Like I said, that was my chief goal. Like if you get surrounded, you are fucked.
If you get surrounded, you gotta quickly be able to employ like the back kick, the elbow, something. Yep. You better be able to get out of that quickly.
Yep. And the computer AI is, in my opinion anyways, constantly looking to move vertically and get behind you too. Like even when it's just one of them, that's like their cheat. They're not even they don't try to take you head on necessarily. They're trying to come behind you, even though they're slower than you. And so it's pretty funny and dumb AI.
Yeah, but it's funny because that's what we would try to do too. Like, all right, let's get him in between. Sure, you know.
Yeah, and these dudes, though, this initial run of guys, they'll take usually 3 to 4 knockdowns apiece before they go down for good, which is demarcated by the sprite flashing and then a pretty fun little derpy sound cue. The next area appears to be maybe a theater, I would say, or some other large commercial building with double doors. There's also some ripped up posters tacked onto the brick walls of it, and there is a Williams sitting perched up on the roof of this joint waiting for you, and he'll jump down and start some static once you pass by, so that's pretty cool. There's only a handful. There's one in the tree in the park, too. They don't do that like a ton, but it's funny. That's just a random occurrence, like 2 times in the game, you know. You'd think if that, like, they bother to put that code in there, they would employ it more often, but just those 2.
Probably limited still.
Right.
That's what they had. I mean, because this is impressive, man. Like, the more I think about this, the length of this game, I feel like and I did not look this up. I wonder if this is the same length of the arcade, because if you think about it,
it is.
That's a lot of quarters. Yeah, like that's.
Oh no, dude! I told you, I never got past the park in the arcade. I played the shit out of the arcade. This is one of the few arcade games that I did play a lot because of its presence at that roller skate rink I would go to, and yeah, I played the shit out of this. And like, yeah, I mean, I would only have like whatever the hell I want to say $10 is what I would get a 10 spot for just whatever I wanted to distribute across pizza / video game wise while I was there. Maybe even might have been an included admission. Who knows what admission was? Probably just a couple bucks, and then skate rental another $1. So I probably had like $6.50 maybe to work with. Pizza's $3. Drink out of the water fountain. Don't buy a drink, like kind of deal. So you have $3 left for the video games. Who knows? But yeah, I never once fucking got past that third stage. I recall. I'd never seen the fourth mission of this game in my life until I played for this little occasion here. A Linda will roll out the double doors just as you pass them, then is joined by a second cruising in from the screen right, and then a beat or so past that, the doors open, and a fucking Abobo comes crashing through the brick wall like the Kool-Aid guy.
Like Kool-Aid man every time, dude.
It's exactly the Kool-Aid guy. Yeah, and there's also a whip that gets tossed out here too, and Linda can't wait to get her fucking hands on that whip and fuck you up with it if you let her. So you want to make that a priority to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, and they all kind of like these Ropers, the Williams, and even Linda, if she doesn't have her whip, they all kind of behave relatively similar, just punching and kicking and shit. The Williams will jump kick a little bit, I suppose, but a Bobo, on the other hand, is a whole other fucking deal. And yes, he is way fuck bigger than the other guys. He's shirtless, he's bald, he's ripped as fuck, and he has blood red eyes. And like fucking laser beams coming out of them eyes almost. And he will pick you up and throw you like a rag doll if you get close to him, and like just do it back and forth too. Just a nightmare to get in close with him. And then he'll slug your ass if he's not close enough for the toss move. And it's not a punch, it's a slap. It's like a fucking
That's so disrespectful.
Yeah. It's not a slap like all the way through. It's like a slap that would stop right. Like I don't know. And for some reason that is more impressive or more intimidating to me, that it's not just like this all the way follow through type deal. Yeah, he's definitely the funnest guy visually to battle with. Certainly not in like the act of it though is a motherfucker.
Oh man, yeah, the most you have to strategize with. That's why for me it's like, hey, is there environmental? Can I knock you off the side? Is there
it did not even occur to me. I think I might have gotten one to fall down into the spikes in the hideout from that, like when they both come like double Kool-Aid guy out of the fucking wall and that little area. But I don't think I thought to be able to knock people into the park water or anything. But that was fun when you're able to do that for sure. I mean, I know it's like a big thing, and I think it's 2 where knocking the Bobo onto the
conveyor belt,
it is like the goal there at the end of that early stage.
Oh yeah.
So I know that's a Double Dragon thing, but I didn't think I'd do it in the park. I learned that there's some going through here, and like at one point I assumed I'd be able to, but like you can move, like, the screen will scroll and you can move back a little bit within a scene, as they call them, but you cannot, once you get the hand and you can't go back. So you can sometimes clip weapons off the edge of the screen, or sometimes you can get fucked a little bit by the like invisible boundary kind of thing going on in this game. That can be a little frustrating.
Yeah, especially if you were hoping to rely on a weapon and it's just out of range.
Yeah. Like, I definitely lost the boulder in the fucking stage 3 because of this, and I was salty as fuck. The one other very important strategic advantage that's worth noting about this early part of the game is you can walk much faster than just about every enemy sprite in the game. And you could use that to your advantage a great deal to keep the groups on the one side of you, like I said. So
they got to give you something, otherwise it'd be impossible. Yeah.
So another Linda can wander in from screen right while dealing with that Abobo, but that's the last of that area. And then once all that is dispatched, the hand icon comes up again, and you move into a work zone area populated by a number of steel barrels. And if you manage to hang on to it for all those Lindas and Abobos, this is when you'll first learn that your whip gets taken away from you. And it's like, fuck. But there is a steel barrel over here to replace it, and that is pretty fun. You can just pick that up and chuck it. And yes, like we said, it's definitely it's probably not as effective. Like the bat knocks the shit out of guys, knocks them down in one hit. I mean, the things do too, but with the throwing the thing, which is probably why it's more fun, I guess, is that you got to line it up and get it right, and you can miss a whole lot easier, I think, than with the bat or the whip. But when you land it, it's definitely more fun.
They go down when you land it, yeah.
And over here, you're greeted by another foursome of Ropers and Williams. but this time the latter dudes are black, so they kind of mixing up the skin color palettes here, and that's nice that they kind of just try to give it some variance of any kind. I did not expect that to be the case. I expected to get those same motherfuckers through the whole game. There were no differences at all, so I was pleased with that. And if you move far enough right into here, the music will flip over to the boss theme. And that is foreshadowing for the Abobo that's about to enter from the right. This one is also palette swapped with black skin. And the first one had a more Mediterranean olive skin thing going on. So there's different Abobos as well. And otherwise, there are no just white motherfuckers, though, with the Abobos, right? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't believe so.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, you get the green ones later, but you don't get any truly white ones. Otherwise, he's the same, though, and your best bet is just to lure him into the very middle so you can keep circling him, scooping that steel barrel up, and just chucking that shit at him.
Over and over.
Over and over again. Which is actually much... It's funny. It's another one of those... It's so funny, these games. Like, the two-player stuff is so fun, but it so frequently makes it harder, you know? I like the friendly fire, too, but like even... That's obvious, and a constant problem that's almost avoidable. Like, the arena's just not big enough to avoid it entirely, especially if you're spamming jump kicks. But it also makes it more difficult in just the enemy tracking is harder to predict because they'll lock on to guys and you get a little bit of their predictable move sometimes, but sometimes they'll switch and get off of it, and you just can't do the same thing. So if you've learned patterns in the one-player game, you're going to lose those strategies a bit in the two-player game, which is interesting.
It's fun too because thinking about the friendly fire thing, I remember that being such a thing when we were kids. Like of course we're going to hurt each other, and finally later when you could turn it off in games, it's like, oh, look, we can turn it off. This is great. You know? Yep. So having this come back and be the default was like, okay.
It's frustrating. And like, it's so funny because like on more than one occasion, even before the buttons are depressed, you see yourself doing it.
Yeah, but it's like,
and you're like, fuck. And like me, I see you doing it, and I still can't react fast. It's just so fucking. You can see it coming from a mile away that it's about to happen. And it's like, fuck.
My hands were already pressing it. And I was like, no, it's too late.
Yep. There is a slightly different death cue, sound cue for the bosses, and then the stage clear ditty plays. The bonus points the manual promised for finishing the level are awarded. We fade out from that, then fade into Mission 2, the Factory District. And this is another absolute banger of a music track for the stage. I love this music. As far as the aesthetics go, we have industrial concrete slab flooring. The walls have some construction black, yellow diagonal line thing going on. And the walls will change to a concrete deal with a very inefficient pipeline system that curves back and forth a lot. It looks like the least productive way to get whatever's traveling through those pipes from one place to another.
Right.
And learning coming into here that your health bar gets replenished to full when you start a new mission was a very pleasant thing to have happen. Many thanks to the benevolent programmers at Technos for that. You start with having to deal with a sizable gang of Williamses, Lindas, and Ropers. They're packing some new weaponry too. You see your first bat and stick of dynamite here. And yeah, we mentioned it in our couch co-op, but that stick of dynamite, like, both the knife and that, those guys come in from off screen and just whip it at you before you're fucking... It happens so frequently, you're like... Even when I know they're coming, I still sometimes can't move fast enough, and that's very frustrating. But yes, when you get that dynamite, when you pick it up from them, if you can knock it out of their hands instead of getting it thrown at you, like, it's so hard to get that to land and blow up. I don't know. I don't think I ever landed it. So that's probably my least favorite weapon in the game.
Yeah, I'd often like for that go to the bottom of the screen as long as I wasn't at risk of falling off the bottom and just like throw it there. Like, all right, if you're locked onto me at the bottom, you are going to walk over. I can
time it up better, yeah. Yeah, going to the bottom when there's spikes down there is a very risky proposition. After that onslaught, you will have to start climbing up these stacks of steel beams, and this really highlights how much jumping sucks in the game, and having to hit those two buttons, you can, like, especially if you're trying to battle on these, and, like, again, just not getting that reliable double depression is very frustrating, and you get that feel here for sure. I'd run out of lives for the first time here, and all you have to do to continue is hit the punch button, and you'll reappear exactly where you were with 2 lives and a full health bar. So it's nice that they reset your score, but other than that, there's no setback of any kind with the continuing, which is nice. Yep. At the top of this climb, you will dead end up against a wall, just before which are a set of double doors that will dump out a smattering of Lindas and Williams before it's boss battle time. And pretty sure this is a Willie, the jump kicking illustration at the end of the manual enemy breakdown. So it's like it very similar to a Williams. It's just got a vest on, and he's got like a little more colorful hair going on, a purple hair flare deal. But yeah, his whole differences with him is he jump kicks a shit ton more, and it is like hair trigger too, dude. Like these guys, especially at the end when you get a whole gang of them in that last room, they have like all the other guys, like the Ropers and the Williams, will jump kick you. Like if you know, you'll see it. Like they'll get on your horizontal plane and they'll approach, and if you just stand there like an idiot, they will jump kick you. But you can see it coming. But these motherfuckers they don't need to like be walking. They could just like trigger that motherfucker the second they get on your horizontal plane. Yeah, and they are much more difficult to deal with than the other Willie. So that's why he's a boss here, I guess, because he's definitely a big step up. There's a box weapon up here that can be chucked at these fools throughout the whole stretch, Willie included. And it's so fun that the box says Sega on the side. I fucking love it. Very, very cool little. It's not an Easter egg, but just a random thing that didn't have to be there for sure that they took the time to put on it. That's fun. Yeah. And Willie is also a click or 2 fleeter of foot than the other grunts, so that's notable as well. But you still clock a faster 40 than him. And with the juke mover too, you can dance him away from the Sega box and just spam him to death with it, just like you did with the barrel on the Bobos. No trouble with any of this so far. After these messages,
we'll be right back.
This is the Sega commercial that tells you when you buy any Sega system, you'll get the incredible 2-player Double Dragon absolutely free. This is the commercial for Sega games that tells you when you buy 3 games, you get Double Dragon free. But wait, this is also the commercial that tells you to tear down to your nearest store and tear off a Sega coupon that says, if you buy any Sega system or 3 of our specially selected games, you'll get Double Dragon free. Offer expires December 31st. Major fun and a free game from Sega. Get it? Got it. Good.
Extreme! That is a 1988 U.S. commercial for the SMS system and brand on the whole. And basically, if you do anything whatsoever that's in the vicinity of financially supporting the console, they will award you a copy of this game, Double Dragon, for free. And yeah, the first thing they mention at the top is that it's a 2-player deal too, and I think that's a barb fired at the NES release, like I said. Actually, I did the work here. Dan Kitchen's port of the NES one hit back in June, not in 87. So 1988, but still, I mean, that's obviously early still.
I wonder, like, I know people didn't really have multiple consoles back then. Like, if you had, you normally didn't have a Genesis, or not a Genesis, but you normally didn't have an NES.
Man,
and a Master System.
How rich would you have thought a kid if he had both of those?
Right?
Just
but, like, I cannot imagine, like, if you had, let's say you had the SMS and you're playing this and you're loving it, but obviously Nintendo is the marketing machine that's become under Mario and all that, and you go over your friend's house and you're
fighting a losing battle, trying to explain to him, yeah,
right, and you're playing it and you're just like, what am I doing? What are we doing? And they're just like, no, Nintendo's the greatest, and you're just like, dude. They can't even fathom.
This is how I feel at all times when I'm trying to explain to people that playing games on flat screens is for cavemen, Jay. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, what are you guys? What? Open your eyes! Open your eyes!
Josh,
that's how I feel.
I just can't with you.
So here in Mission 3, we are in the park. There is an interesting amount of deforestation taking place in this park. There's a bunch of cleanly sawed tree stumps throughout it. A lot of ropers at the start. These pricks are throwing switchblades and dynamite at you the second they appear. And like we just mentioned, it's very frustrating. And this is the first time I saw someone blow themselves up with dynamite. One shot himself, and that made me very happy. That was a really cool thing to see. And the ones that don't perform ballistics suicide on themselves are burly, though, and a jump kick will not always take them to the ground, which is problematic. That's the first time you see this, because your sprite has a moment of inactivity and thereby vulnerability when you land and go to one knee after a jump kick, right? So a gang of equally jump kick cheese resistant Williamses lurks after them too. So you get a bunch of just like a very, very crash course on like, you're going to have to come up with something new homeboy. It's not going to work. Shit's not going to work here. So yeah, that was a steep learning curve for sure. So yeah, this is when I had to come up with a new battle plan, because I was getting fucking pummel-chooked. And if you position yourself right above guys, they will inch up incrementally, one step at a time. And during that, and this is why it was also a culture shock, or a shocking thing to go into 2-player and to lose this predictability that I had, or not predictability, but this system that I'd worked out, because you can't, the just moving, just inching up vertically doesn't happen when there's other players. Of course, they behave differently. So, but yeah, here they'll inch up very incrementally, and you can get in 2 of them real quick, and they'll just walk right into your attack. And yeah, that's fucking, like with normal kicks and punches, it doesn't do enough damage, and they'll get in a lick in those 2 hits, or after those 2 hits rather, as they get onto your plane and they're not going down. But with the headbutt, which is just that double tap on the D-pad, much more reliable to execute than a lot of other attacks, they'll step into it and they nearly always knock these fuckers on their asses within 2 of them.
Powerful. Yeah, that was surprisingly powerful.
Right. So you can use this cheese pretty reliably through the rest of the game, at least until that final room, when it's just that Jeffy makes it a little tougher. Yeah, the bonus plan on this is sometimes, for whatever reason, this would result in putting them in a headlock too, and you can do the shoulder throw real quickly, which is, I don't know how. I wasn't able to do that. Like, oh, that's a reliable step in my process, but it was a nice random occurrence that would happen sometimes that had no downside to it.
Maybe you would headbutt them and be standing above them, and you're like, oh, immediately grab them.
Well, no, because when you knock them down, they fly away from you. So that's not possible. That's not possible that's what was happening. So yeah, I don't have an explanation for that, dude. Did you also? I mean, you had to have felt the difference happen with the jump kicks. Did you come up with something? It seemed like you were still rolling with jump kicks when we were.
I was still doing jump kicks. I mean, I just realized, hey, it's not going to be smooth anymore. I got to mix it up with like the spinning back kick, or, I would still do some kicks and try to get in a headlock. Like, as much as I hate relying on punches and kicks, because again, to your point, they will get licks in, like being able to get them in a headlock and then get a couple knees in and then throw is almost, it's like, I don't know, damage wise, I can't say exactly, but it feels like a jump kick and a half, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it feels pretty strong. So I would still, but you still got to have your kicks in there, like that. You just knowing that that's no longer the whole strategy.
Yeah. After working your way out of the deforestation zone, you hit a stretch with a lowish wall running along the back, behind which you can see some nice nighttime mountain silhouettes against the dark blue sky. This part is patrolled by a gang of Lindas and Williamses that are joined by one roper with a bat in tow that you can mow down the whole lot with. And then there's an adobo. He's playing bridge troll at the end of this in front of the creek. And if you hang back and I tried to employ it here, but I realized that I could, if I hung back here, I could deal with just him and not aggro that guy out of the tree that's waiting there with him. And obviously because the thing is, you're in this constricted area here. You don't have the same room to circle and shit. So if you get 2 people to deal with in here, it's a fucking problem, And yeah, it didn't even occur to me to try to knock him into the river, so that's a cool thing that we did in our co-op. But yeah, I was able to just keep that dude in the tree, headbutt the shit out of him, and just deal with the Obobo, and then deal with the other guy after that. And one at a time, it was much easier to deal with that constricted space problem. And the bridge is busted here. You have to jump kick over the gap and try not to get popped by the roper waiting for you on the other side. He's just like, the whole time you're over there, too. He's just like, standing there and watching, like, come on. It's just pretty funny that he doesn't, like, fucking think to, or doesn't try to jump over or anything.
Right.
And on this other side of the bridge, there's another wall area here with some incriminating evidence of deforestation as well. A big stack of logs with some Linda Williams and Bobo action. Linda has a whip you can fuck him up with. So again, they're just giving you weapons to deal with the lots with each time now throughout the stage. And that's kind of a nice luxury, I suppose. And from here, we move into a mountain area, and you can fall off the bottom of the fucking screen here. I didn't realize or assume that would be the case, so I learned that the hard way. And yeah, you just fucking plop off and dead.
There's life.
Yep. There are multiple Williamses and Abobos here, but thankfully there's a boulder in this area too that you can work in your arsenal. And this is where you start seeing, I thought of them as zombie iterations of the Williams and Willie. When they get the green skin. That's how I role played that. I don't know about
I
you.
like that.
Yep. But this is also an indication they are harder, I guess, as zombies might be, probably, than real people. And, yeah, I kind of, like, when I first saw these fuckers, like that first green Willy, they'll jump up from a steel platform and get up there with you. So I just fucking ran down. I know when that boulder was down there, I was happy. It was one of the few times in the game, I guess I'm saying, that I was happy to bring more people onto the screen at one time if it meant I could have that boulder and not just have to fight hand to hand with that green Willy, So I did that. And yeah, even the the boulder has like mutagen.
It has a green tint.
Yeah. It's got like the I thought it was mutagen.
Nice.
So pretty fun. And then there's a zombie Bobo over here as well before you leave. So that's the boss battle to finish up that stage. And then we move into Mission 4, the Black Warriors HQ. And this is a bona fide palace. It's like gold and stone with open flame torches. That's the aesthetic deal here. So I think whatever crime these ruffians are criming on is really panning out for them. So good for them.
Right?
So much for crime, not pain. We start off with the first no enemy true environmental hazard stuff in the game, I would say. I mean, I guess you could maybe count the jumping over the fucking creek or that falling off the mountain area, but this is like true environmental hazard shit. We have these constricted walkways where stone rods fire out of the back wall, entirely made up of them, and you don't know which ones are going to poke out until you. And honestly, I would say I almost said there until you learn the pattern, but I don't even know. Like when I first played this, I sat and watched it for a second, which is what I'll do when I meet one of these things in video games, and I was like, kind of watched it for like 20-30 seconds. And I was like, I'm gonna wait for it to go and then try to get through there real fast,
that's what I did.
You were just barreling into it, though. You weren't even waiting for the first one to go.
But that's what I mean. I did it that exact same way on my one player and never got hit once. Okay. So the fact that when we did it together and I got hit multiple times, I was like, oh.
I definitely would hold you up. That's like contra the effect there where I'm like holding you up for sure. It's like, no, I'm taking my time. You should know that you're playing with an anal retentive BB stacker, Jay, and you gotta accommodate for that. Yeah. Yeah, so you go through these. The cycle they're like long cycles of different ones poking out. So I wasn't able to really time out a pattern. I just kind of would wait for the first one to go, and I would usually wait for like a first one that's on like the far side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because there's a higher likelihood the next one's gonna be closer to the near side. So you'll be past that part if it does come out before you get to the other side of them. And then the other form of hazard are these gold statues atop doorways with long spears that'll stab your ass as you walk by. And they pair groupings of two opposing, like back-to-back iterations of these to kind of create like a defined battle arena that you got to work in. And they'll send in the two instances of these. They send in a roper in both cases, or maybe one's a Willy, or a William rather. Willy. And so they send guys in there. The roper has a knife, and then the Williams has a dynamite stick. So they both have shit they can walk on the screen and just whip at you right away with. But this is definitely a case where the Williams will blow himself up if you do it right, and that's pretty fun. But they'll also get stabbed by the spears if you can kind of cheese them into that as well. So this isn't so bad. But if you do get into that space with them and have to battle with them, again, you have a very constricted area to work with. So it's not a particularly fun hand-to-hand instance.
Yeah.
Next stop on the Black Warrior HQ train is an arena that starts off with two of Bobo's Kool-Aid manning their asses through the brick wall behind and continues to go downhill from there with a number more of them coming in from the sides before you can progress. And they pepper in a bit of some Williams action too, just to up the difficulty. So this is probably, I don't know. I think when I'm badgering around here, it's like, I think it might be worse than the final battle, as far as like, how hard it is to deal with, because like two Abobos and having to deal with them, especially the way I was doing at this point with the
and
headbutts.
they're like red, so
right.
Their difficulty's definitely upped for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And so having two of them at one time and like doing them, like the headbutt thing I'm doing with them is like I said, dude, I cannot begin to convey how tired, and I would pause the game and just have to like recuperate, because the headbutt thing is so taxing on your hand to do the two depressions, very, very tough. So this was a very, very frustrating scene for me. And they also right before this part too, the screen does this really jarring thing where it moves up, and now there's like this spike pit down below that you can fall into too if you try to clip off the bottom of the screen there. So sucks. So once you finish all those Williams and Abobos off, you move into a very ornate room with these large windows in the back. There's a red carpet and a huge door with some kind of logo on it, a knight's helmet maybe. And in here, initially, there's an Abobo, a Roper, and a Williams right there as Walmart greeters. And there's no, I kind of was surprised there wasn't some like kind of more dramatic moment of calm before this whole deal started, you know? They could have built up the dread here more, I think. So you just go into it, and you're just immediately in a battle before the whole arena isn't even on the screen yet. It's such a visually jarring and impressive thing within this world, I think, that it would have been cool if like you stood in that room empty for a minute and then they came through the door or whatever, you know. I think would have been a cool effect that they could have done here that would have upped the drama a bit. But that's the shitstorm started, the final shitstorm rather, starting in this game, and you take all those cats down. The willies start to drop in from screen right, maybe 4 of them, I don't fucking know, and just I can't even not describe to you how much headbutting I had to do here to get to this part.
So much headbutting.
Yeah, just my hand was so fucking tired. And yeah, this is where, like, you know, you have the one at the end of stage 2, and I don't know if we have a couple of them in the mountain area of stage 3 too. So you've seen these guys, and you know their moveset, but when they put 4 of them on the screen, these willies, dude, this is where I learned that jump kick problem. Like, holy fuck, these guys are hair trigger on that fucking jump kick. So yeah, it is brutal dealing with these dudes. But when you get down to one willy, at least I think that was how I kind of viewed it. Maybe it's sometimes even 2. I don't know exactly what the math is here that causes it, but they do have a little bit of cool building here because the guy Jeffy walks past the window before he comes through the door. But he walks past the window. The door opens up, he steps through, and he's looking just like he is in the manual, got his hair slicked back kind of deal. And he comes in, and you have to deal with him, and then however many of the willies you have left, you know. I was like mid-headbutt on the remaining willy when this happens. So it like pauses the action, you know. And he steps through, he's brandishing his automatic fucking assault rifle deal, and they rip in the final boss battle music that we started. We'll start the next segment with, actually. And yeah, that music is so fucking good. It is just absolutely elite video game crank. It is so like I said, I was so frustrated, and I save scum so fucking much
just to get there,
just to get to the part where Jeff comes out, you know. And like, so I was thinking about. I was considering, like, I don't need to beat this fucking guy. There's no way it's that important.
What?
Yeah, I was, like, super fucking frustrated. My hand, dude, I cannot stress enough. My hand hurt. It was painful. Genuinely painful. So I was thinking about not doing this. And when I finally get him out, and that music ripped in, and I was like, oh, let's go. And, like, that music is so, fucking good, dude. That music is so fucking good. So good. So, yeah, Jeffy comes out. He has both a kick attack that really wallops your ass and fucking knocks you on your ass, and he'll also smack you with a gun if you hang around in close to him too long. And if you get too far away from him, he'll pop off rounds at your ass. And I was actually kind of surprised, maybe. Like my only thing, he must have spent too much time in this palace and not budgeted enough dough for ammo, because he is very conservative,
right?
With this rat-a-tat-tat action. You know, like he fires them pretty seldom, and then it's just one round at a time. And even the travel speed of the bullet is pretty slow. So, you know, it's not the biggest problem, really, that attack, you know, as I kind of, like, I was like expecting to have to like keep him from doing that, or I was fucked. And that's definitely what you want him doing. You want to be battling the willies, definitely get down to one. Like, I think, like, at first, like, I didn't think, like, they keep dropping it in. You know, if you kill the last willy, another will drop in, but that will only happen a handful of times. So you can work your way to get down to just him, you know, which is the smart thing to do if you have the wherewithal to fucking outlast those 4 willies. But I didn't assume that was the case. I learned that watching the playthrough after the fact. I did not think I could do that. So, you know, the first couple dropped in, and I was just irate, and I was like, fuck it, and just focused on Jeffy, you know.
Right.
What was your
I was able to take down the willies to 1 and then isolate Jeff by himself.
Okay.
So then I was just able to focus on them, which was good. And then I'm still doing flurries of kicks and spin kicks and, just back and forth, just trying to keep out of range of him doing his kick to me, and since clearly the bullet, to your point, is easy to avoid. It's really just, let me just not get hit with that weapon or that kick and I'll be good here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we didn't talk about it during the shit talking prologue part, but Jeffy's got a funny ass fucking look to him, dude. He's got the slick back hair, he's got a goatee, but he's kind of balding. So the slick back, it reveals a widow's peak up top. And furthermore, he's wearing an orange jumpsuit with these big white moon boots. And he's also wearing elbow pads. I guess in case he needs to come off the top rope down on anyone. I don't know. I don't know why he's wearing the elbow pads. He doesn't have an elbow pad. He doesn't have like an upper body attack. He uses the gun. So it's just such a weird design choice, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
He feels like a Michael Jackson video enemy to me.
Yeah, sure. It's like overdressed. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can vibe with that. Yeah, so dude, I never really, yes, isolate Jeff, but I never really found an effective way of dealing with him other than just doing that same exact that choreographed headbutt dance where I would get him to inch up, get a couple in. But he attacks so fast with that kick and or the gun that like not nearly reliable or as reliable of keeping an attack from happening. So I literally, dude, I was save scumming. I would get one hit on him, step away, save scum. So like by the time, the only way I could beat this was just like the most cheesing bitch ass, just such a bitch ass way of doing it. But I was so pissed, dude. I was like, I'm not, like, the music's going, so I'm gonna finish it. But there was no fucking way that I'd have been able to do it naturally. I just wouldn't.
If you can, like, I would try to land a jump kick and a puncher kick like immediately before or after. Well, I guess after most of the time, because since your jump kick by itself isn't really taking him down, like you got to get that extra hit in. Otherwise, he's just going to hit you each time.
Yeah,
so
and he does a fucking dump truck of damage too. So he's definitely a whole unit each time. So yeah, it's just brutal, dude. Yeah, I mean, my boss battle video, I streamed it. Like I'm dealing with this dude for like 30 minutes, dude. Like the whole gameplay is I probably spent, if I'd have just been, clearly we did our whole couch co-op with beating him at the end in 35 minutes, I think. So the fact that I spent 30 minutes on just him is a testament to how much difficulty I had with this. But yeah,
I think you can also kind of cheese him around the corner a little bit of that bit, like the room, like when you first, like the edge too, like you can play with that. I
saw there was in the video, the playthrough video I watched to like kind of do a little bit more research. They were doing something with him over by the door. Like going around that corner and kind of like doing.
I couldn't keep it reliable though. Like I did it a couple times. I was like, oh, can I keep him here? But like he eventually broke out of it.
Okay. So. Yeah, I had no idea about it. Didn't even occur to me to try to go over there. The idea of luring him somewhere seemed completely like I didn't even cross my mind. So I didn't try that. The one thing I did get lucky about glitch wise or whatever cheese wise is I kind of like. I told you I was like I didn't think I could get rid of all the willies by killing them. But I happened to glitch one off the screen, just focusing on Jeffy.
Nice.
So like I went down to 0 before the end. I went down to just Jeffy solely because of a glitch thing, and that's why I assumed it worked. And I assumed it wasn't my doing, or that like they wouldn't keep coming. I assumed that he was just like stuck on the wall over there or something, not actually dead. Was my assumption. So that was some pretty lucky happenstance, or who knows if I'd ever been able to do it, even safe coming. Yeah. If it wouldn't have been for that banger of a music track to keep me grounded for it, there's no telling what kind of horrible things would have ended up in that boss battle video.
Man.
There's already probably some. I don't remember. I'm sure I said some horrible things, but it would have been a lot worse, I think, without that music to keep my spirits high.
Man, how different of an outlook would you have if you did not beat this game? I can't even imagine what kind of conversation we would even be having. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't even know.
So he dies with the same theatrics as the other stage bosses. The little ditty plays, he flashes a few times and disappears, and then we cut to the left side of the room, and this is all, obviously I'm speaking specifically about the one-player experience here. We cut to the left side of the room, glitching Jimmy over there in the process, and the end music swells. Marianne drops from the ceiling in the same hot pink pencil dress, ambles up to you, or rather up to and behind Jimmy, and our eyes do this animation where they like bug out almost cartoon style. Although get real big at least at minimum. And I interpreted this as a thankful ogling, and then she throws her arms around Jimbo, and whether he's a prick or just too tired to respond initially, she embraces him a beat before he gets his arms up and reciprocates around her, you know? And then his right hand looks like it might be thinking about sliding down onto her ass. But he ultimately keeps it respectful throughout, and eventually a big pink heart appears above her head, or above their heads, I guess, and then drifts up and off screen, and the background fades to black while they remain locked in that embrace in the foreground, and magenta text appears above them reading, "May you live happily forever." And that fades to presented by Technos Japan Corp., reprogrammed by Sega in a teal font, and lastly that fades out, and the end fades in above their heads in yellow cursive as the song winds down to leave you in silence as long as you want to relish on this in-card moment. And my most pressing thought during this whole thing is, not having done the two-player thing, though, is like, I'm like watching this, I'm like, what the fuck would Billy be doing in this moment if you beat this in co-op mode? Like, what would be happening right now while this, like, loving moment? He's just standing there watching, you know? Like, what the fuck? I just couldn't imagine.
Out, like, oh, brother has his girlfriend back. Great.
Right, yeah, okay. Right. I just had, like, how awkward of a video game moment that would have been, you know, not knowing what actually happened. So that was just funny how much that I thought of that the whole time I was watching this shit. So yeah, so this is what sent me through, or rather over to YouTube, looking for a playthrough of this. And yes, it blew my fucking mind, dude. I mean, I guess, you know, maybe we...
So wait, you didn't know...
I didn't know either.
So I just had that question and went and looked at a video to see what would happen?
If I wouldn't have thought of that, I would not have watched the video. And I would have had we'd have had the exact same joint experience in our couch co-op, which we did just before we jumped on here. And yeah, we played the game, and like, yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it as we went. So I don't know if there's so much to say about the two-player experience that we haven't already said, other than the end of the game here. Yeah, and like, when he dies in the co-op mode, and like, I thought this interesting too because I noticed this in the video. If there's willies left when you kill Jeff, you have to finish them off too. So that's super interesting that you can kill Jeff.
Not done.
Yeah. So you got to finish all that off, however many willies and Jeffy, and then the bonus score tally thing happens just the same, and then the two of you, and like it does that thing where it cuts over to Marianne, the two of you looking up at her, and instead of her dropping down, there's a fucking baseball bat line between you, and you have to fight to the death. And to the victor goes Marianne. And yeah, dude, I watched the video. I almost had to stand up and walk away from my computer when I saw the video. I was just like, again, like and like I said, I knew my whole life I've known there's some weird ass shit about this. I know the NES one, there's something, and like I guess I don't know what it is now. I've never beat the NES one, but there's something different about the NES one. I don't know what it is. I thought or always assumed that it was for that version that they did that because, again, the NES games have to do something different, yada, yada, whatever. But this, I think, happens at the NES game, and I thought that was the whole thing. And we even there was a commenter on the video, or on videos or something, one of the Double Dragon posts I did, where someone mentioned that, and I replied back, because I was mid-playthrough, I wasn't there yet. I replied back, I was like, no, that's only the NES version. And like, even he was like, oh, okay. And just like, didn't even talk shit to me or tell me I was a moron. And I play the game and then watch this video, and like, the first thing I do is put my phone back up and go back and tell that guy, like, I'm an idiot, I'm sorry, you're right. Like, if I can make good on that, you know? So yeah, like, I just had no fucking idea. And how often, in any video game, on these systems, have we just been like, floored by a narrative turn, just like holy fucking shit, you know?
So rare.
Yeah,
I count them on one hand, and it's
I think on one finger actually. So. I can't think of another one where I was that like surprised by an actual like narrative plot point, you know?
Like, I feel like I've heard whispers of this before, but I don't. Right. It's not clearly not enough in my mind as somebody who loves Double Dragon, because I mostly played it one player, to ever be able to, you know, be able to recall that. So that was just shocking to me.
Wild.
I'm like, wait,
yeah,
what
man.
are we doing? Why are you hitting me? Like, what is happening?
So fucking good, dude. Yeah.
So clearly, I did not pay that close attention to the manual because why would I? I'm like looking at it. It was like, oh, at the end, like a surprising leader. So this coupled with the fact that you have to kill all the willies at the end.
I thought they were just talking about Jeff. Yeah,
you got to take out everybody, like everybody who's a part of this gang, and clearly your brother. They do him dirty,
right? And like, so yeah, I searched around. So I was going through the history thing there, kind of just catching up because I played through this over a week ago, so I was trying to catch up, so I'm not fucking reading the whole time we're podcasting here. And I read this article of someone like analyzing it the way someone would like break down the end of a movie or something, and like the whole, I guess like the deal is that he's the shadow, like they were raised by these different masters, and this guy hypothesized that Jimmy had been banging her for a whole, like that Jimmy and Marianne had been involved for a long time. And this was his like epic plot to allow her to be able to leave Billy for him. That he would have his gang steal her. And that basically that he wouldn't, in this case, he wouldn't have to reveal because they would kill Billy.
Because the gang would take him out.
Right. So this whole time you're fighting together, the idea is that he's just fighting along, trying to save face, so he doesn't have to lie, or so he can keep up this lie to Marianne.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that's the thing. Here's the fucking wild thing about that theory, though. Is in the video I watched, the head-to-head thing, Jimmy wins.
I was going to say, well, what happens if Jimmy
wins? Jimmy wins. It's the exact same thing. She drops down, she walks up, she does the ogle, she throws her arms around him, the heart goes up, and the game ends. So it's exact same response as if Billy wins, which is dirty. It's fucking dirty. Yeah. And like, there's so much, like, if you have all that knowledge, there's so much more you can read. Like I told you, like when Billy, either one of them wins, I guess, because it's the exact same animations and everything. Yeah. How they don't put their arms around her for a second means a lot more if you think about it. Both of them would have like a little bit of. You're a little grimy. Like you figure Billy maybe supposes something, has had at least some inkling to some degree or another. And then once Jimmy attacks him, you would think Jimmy probably talks some shit during it or something, and says something about it. Or like there's some sort of indication that would cement his maybe preconceived fucking guessing.
Not just fully happy to see her. Like
Right. Yeah. So like there's a lot there. There's a lot of adult stuff to parse in there that is very, very interesting, And yeah, just so savage. All of it just so savage. And the manual, maybe the most importantly, was absolutely right. I was surprised as fuck. Yes. Yeah. Oh man,
there is a surprise these days from the retro era, but here we are.
So good, such a good and ballsy thing to do as developers. Can you imagine?
Very different than just the regular save the princess. Like,
right, exactly. Like that's what I mean. They're sitting in the fucking room or whatever, and they're talking about this. Like the first guy that dropped that, everyone had to be like, "Oh man, we can't. Come on, can't do that." Like how much talking into did that take to get everyone on board with that? Yeah, it's wild. Very, very wild. And yeah, just generally the two-player is fucking, of course, a blast. There's a handful of things that you got to like change a little bit the experience, and you got to kind of work around strategy-wise, maybe. But generally speaking, it's just fun couch co-op goodness.
Boss theme, bringing us into our final section of this podcast. Josh, what do you think?
I had quite a bit of fun playing through this game, and there is no goddamn question that the end presented a significant amount of challenge for me. And I would say, like, there's, again, unquestionably better than the NES one. And, you know, the couch co-op had a blast. Like, we were thinking we weren't even going to make it happen. And, like, when it did, I was, like, ecstatic that we were doing it. And when we got into it, I was even more ecstatic. Like, that was a great, a very fun ride. And I wrote all the things down, too. I don't know if you clocked me doing that, but I wrote all the shit down. So,
yes.
if we can actually do that inside of 10 minutes next time, because I finally took the time to write that down, I'm going to be so upset.
We should just pick a game tomorrow and just couch co-op it. Just like, hey, just jump in.
Just
we got
to see.
15 minutes to get into the game, see if we can get into it.
And yeah, even and again, we even got the fucking couch co-op stream to record your audio this time. So like, right. I don't have any explanation for that, dude. I mean, I did go in and check the audio inputs this time, but I think I do that all the other times too. And I don't understand how it could possibly separate. It's recording the desktop on anytime. If it has the video game music, it should be recording everything the desktop is making sound-wise, you know? So I don't get how it could ever possibly cut off the Zoom audio input if it has the video game. Man. So it's just always such a nightmare. But anyways, that's obviously not what we're determining here, whether or not Parsec sucks. Or OBS sucks, whatever. Anyways, with the game itself, dude, there are fundamental flaws in this game, though, dude. And I was never able to develop a way to use a varied array of offensive tactics in the game. What? Like, I basically just spammed 2 different things the whole game. I spammed jump kicks for missions 1 and 2, and then I spammed headbutts for missions 3 and 4. And yeah, I never felt like I got to be able to use combinations of your own, like, of the other attacks to stun enemies and keep control of the fight. And this is even with just one enemy, not even just the mobs of them. But, I mean, the very first Williams in the game, I could not just, punch, kick, throw. Like, I could not, it was always like they would get some licks in and knock me down and shit. So, like, I was really thinking that that's not good or fun, that, like, yes, it's such a fun premise and there's so much going on that's cool and fun and visually interesting and blah, 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 that, like, but that simple, like, the kernel of these games is being able to beat them up. You know what I mean? To be able to strategize and use this varied thing or this varied array of attacks to beat someone up. That's what the whole genre is. And a game that King Lorik cannot see a path to that end doesn't seem like something that he should be bestowing his blessing upon. And I felt that way finishing the game up. And granted, I hadn't done the couch co-op yet. But then I start watching that video of someone who, and anyone who's making a playthrough of these games is good at them. Yeah. And I watched the person who was good at this game play the game, and it just blew my fucking mind how they're just, punches and kicks. Yeah. They're doing fucking elbow smashes and fucking doing the landing jump kicks without getting knocked down and shit. So I'm just not good. And if that is my only bitch, is that I couldn't use that range of things, it's just because I'm a basic bitch on the beat 'em up front and or haven't played this particular one enough to know how to do it, then King Lorik has no choice, obviously, to bestow the blessing. So I think he does magnanimously, in fact, especially taking into account that narrative turn at the end. Like, holy shit, is that a video game accomplishment, So, yes, I was like really leaning on no. And again, just so much. I mean, I guess we would have learned in the couch co-op, sure. And man, would that have been fun for both of us to realize that and then have to both deal. That was kind of unfair almost, that you're like having a fucking oh shit moment and I'm grabbing the bat. And
you're just like beating me. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm trying to take you the fuck out. So yeah.
Unfair outcome. Unfair outcome.
I don't. Well, I was ecstatic nonetheless, as the couch co-op video clearly exhibits. I do not want to talk any shit because yes, I understand it was a real moment emotionally, I'm sure, for you,
dude. I will address your latter comments first, and that's just about like the lack supposedly beat him up. I think it's definitely just lack of playing only this game. You're playing VR. We're older. Like, you're not just focused on that. Because when I was a kid, I was doing all those very moves. Like, that's why I was saying, like, I love the fact you can do these. I specifically like that it's done even better in the latter ones. That I'm thinking, okay, I'm specifically going for headbutts and throws because I like those the most, and jump kicks are fun, and I know that I can rely on them. But that's also why for this run, I was doing it a lot because I know I can much more rely on that versus like going with the stuff. Because, you know, I start freewheeling and going after stuff and then I'm sloppy, we're having fun, and I start dying and I don't want that to happen. So it's much more easy for me to just rely on, you know, the tried and true method. So I think it really is just the more you play it, the more you get used to those moves. And like, oh, if I just stay on this plane, I can do this, double tap here. Yeah,
and especially if
you get used to it.
You take into account the idea of how these games are consumed in 1988, where like, yeah, you get a new game and you're just rocking on this game for how long, you know? So, and you wouldn't be able to save scum at the end in those cases too. So you would have to go back and get good, you know? And that would force you to just fence test.
You will quickly learn how to.
I don't know about quickly. I don't know about quickly. I played it enough where it wasn't quickly. It wasn't quickly, but you would just learn and just try things until you figured it out, you know. And yeah, I mean, which is it makes me so happy that we're getting people to do this. But Matt Gould was posting on one of the things that he had picked up the game and played it. The SMS version specifically. Nice. And it's just so cool. It's like the side quest too. There's been a few people. Daryl Trueblood, I know, is playing Phantasy Star along with us and shit. Nice. So it's just so cool that like we're convincing people to pick these games back up and play them with us to some degree. But yes, Matt was mentioning how like he hated it at first. And I was like, you know, it's better than the SMS one. Like, and you got to like learn this and that, jump kick, yada yada, and like you will be able to use that later on. And like he came back a few days later and posted like, okay, yeah, like I learned a little bit and it got a little, you know, whatever. And that's a testament to exactly what we're saying here. I think that like, yes, with repetition and with practice, as they would intend for it to be, you know, they don't want you to just pick it up and just rock it. They want you to pick it up and spend some time with it, so you don't fucking take it back to the store. So. You know, that is intelligent design on their behalf, probably, and just our modern gamer sensibility, our bitch-ass modern gamer sensibilities speaking to us and speaking up over what we should just be considering good game design, I think. So, yep. So that was, I believe that's a yes, right? That's a yes.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, there's no way me being having the affinity I have with this series, I'm not going to give it the blessing. I mean, I was literally looking at Double Dragon Rise of the Guidance, which is a new game coming out yesterday. Like, oh, I'm buying that one. Like, of course I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it would be. I wouldn't mind seeing like I definitely, like I said, I can't imagine I played anything past the third one. I didn't even play the Super Nintendo ones. So I would be curious to see where they've gone. And I would guess it's like that new Streets of Rage. You know, they probably are trying to maintain.
It was so good too, and it was so good.
Yeah, they're probably trying to keep a little bit of that retro vibe to it. I would guess, especially particularly recently, the new ones coming out now. I'd be shocked if it wasn't embracing the retro. Thing.
It totally is. Like the Double Dragon Neon that I had before was fun, but that's more like realistic and later. And then like another one, I forgot what it was called. But this Rise of Gaiden one is much more kind of like your screen behind you, much more 8-bit kind of kiddie stylish, you know, stylistic from that era, almost like a mix between SNES and NES eras, you know. Sure. It's a fun homage to that.
Word, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking that out. That could be fun, and I'm sure it'll last to couch co-op.
But I mean, come on now, this version with how exactly it is to the arcade, like what are we talking about? Like I was shocked at how good this was, and the fact that you got me to play a freaking SNS game at this point where I'm like itching to dive into Super Nintendo, like release, let's go there. I told you. This is such a good game. I was shocked.
Yep. No, I mean, yeah, like I said, my only problems with it are things that you're not even going to discover till late game. So yeah, when I first bumped into it and I was fucking with it. Out of whatever, I mean, like I said, it was wild impetus that out of that ad full of those SMS games that we've all seen already, I can't believe I picked it up and played it, and I don't have an explanation for that. I think it's a testament to the IP and what the games mean and how good they must be even to someone who's not a beat-em-up person. So that is also its own little crowning achievement, probably just the fact that it is such a thing that it got onto our radar at a time when that is so far off our radar. SMS games and shit. And like, we I always say like, it's like whenever I see any sort of SMS, any kind of tweeting about the best game on SMS, whatever, and like my canned thing I always say is like Wonder Boy 3 is the best game by a margin. Like, whatever the fuck you want to say, it's number 2 way down the line. Like Wonder Boy 3 is far and away the best SMS game. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. I think this might be number 2 now, in my opinion, on the system of all the, what other SMS game? You played Roston. That was your first game up.
Yeah, Roston.
That's a pretty good one. I would say that's definitely.
This
my top.
Is better than that, though.
Oh yeah, better than that for sure. But that's also my top 10, maybe my top 5. I don't know. Have you played any other SMS games? I don't think so, right? Wonder Boy.
I'd have to think about them. Yeah, Wonder Boy, obviously. But I'd have to think. I've played more going through magazines, but like I'd have to look at them. Like, oh yeah, I played that one too.
Right.
But nothing that I'm going to put on the the top tier kind of list.
Sure. Yeah. So it's yeah. I don't see how you can talk it out of the top 5. I really don't. Or how anyone could talk it out of the top 5. We clearly are not, but I don't see how anyone could. So. Maybe I'll start saying that as part of my can thing too. My 1, 2 are Wonder Boy and Dragon, Double Dragon. Like I don't want to hear your fucking argument otherwise.
Put some respect on Double Dragon's
right.
name. Yeah.
So yeah, great discovery. Super glad we played it, and I knew there'd be a bunch of fun stuff too, and there was. So yeah, great game app. I'm glad we did it for sure. So next up, we were supposed to be going into a mag app, as we are wont to do after game apps. And that would have been Nintendo Power 21. But thanks to fucking Jerome Carl, we now have to play Deadly Towers instead. So we will start that process. And I'm almost done with kind of all the bullshit before I start playing, a little bit left in the manual to deal with, but I've done all the other stuff. And like, it's gonna be interesting, man. I get the vibe that it's not gonna be as bad as we think it is, It's not gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be great, dude. But I think it's going to be more interesting and fun than like this whole mystique of being the worst NES game of all time type deal. That is the reason, or part of the reason anyway. Jerome actually sounds like he has some level of affinity for it. Right. It was a game he played as a kid, so it's not entirely just a dagger turn, on us. But yeah, I don't think it's nearly as bad as the mystique suggests. And if we get going on it, might even have a little bit of fun.
We shall see.
Yeah, but we shall see indeed. So that will be the next thing we do, and then we will go back to Nintendo Power 21, and I guess pending Jay's, review of adobosbigadventure.com, we may be doing that. I mean, that would be so. This is 95, 96 will be Deadly Towers. We'll have a mag at 97, and then another game up 98, another mag at 99, I suppose, and then a Bobo would be 100. So that's the way we'll be looking at going forward, I guess. Looking forward to that. That'll be great. And I have I'm gonna keep it a secret, but I have a super fun surprise. That I'm going to I have cooking for our 100th episode too. That's it's a pretty fun, I don't know, little creative work that I made that I think will make our listeners for sure laugh, especially our close ones that have been along for the ride and kind of saw a lot of the shit we've done to date. I think it'll be a fun little thing for them. So I have that present sitting under the tree for you guys.
I'm concerned.
Other than that, you can subscribe to the pod on the platform provided with our dumbass company that serves up your pottery. Please rate and leave positive shit for the pod on that podcast platform of choice or any other for that matter. The website is nyentertainment.com/ISOH pod. Email us directly at isohpodcast@gmail.com. If you have a receipt for $100 that you've donated to the Able Games Foundation and want to make us do something as terrible as playing Deadly Towers, and follow the pod on Facebook and or Instagram. Link to the YouTube gameplay videos playlist is in the show notes. There's the ISOH subreddit if you want to get down on there. We have a Patreon, or we don't have a Patreon, but if you like giving money to things podcasters tell you to, and would like to so in our direction, the Able Gamers Foundation creates custom gaming rigs for gamers with disabilities, and that is cool as fuck. ablegamers.org is where you can find them. T-shirts on the website, they're dope, and proceeds on those after pod expenses go to Able Gamers. I'm rocking our OG one right now. Jay, what are your socials?
Gentleman JB without the second E is my gamer tag and where you can find me when I post on the socials.
I am on Instagram at MyShiftKeyIsBroke. I'm on Twitter at Josh Folan. And my Oculus tag is MyShiftKeyIsBroke. Also,